you know what? That's the way you
and we're live.
Character. I'll just start wearing a bandolier.
Hello, world. We're live.
Hi, guys.
I feel so alive.
Hi, Freya.
That's how we started.
Freya.
She's the best.
Lols. So, what happened last week for the viewer at home and for Taylor?
Are you asking me, pop quiz?
Where did we leave off? We had just fought the syzygy ghouls. Right?
Yeah,
In that ring.
and I was getting my ass beat by the lady in the mask.
I also got my ass beat.
Ouch! Did you reroll?
Reroll a character? No, I was.
It's my cousin.
I did not get my ass beat. I'll just put it out there.
So you did.
Cool the whole time.
Patsy has a tendency to stay out of the way.
Hands clean.
Patsy gets rings dirty sometimes.
Yeah,
Get
so
dirty when he needs to.
the person that was messing you guys up was
Aster,
who we had been looking
our
for.
missing person.
And very delicately we removed the eerie crown that had been speaking.
How did you guys
to
remove
her.
it? That part, that
It
detail,
was very graphic.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
messed up.
that detail I really want to hear and know about, because
we
that
had
was the
to-
part I was kind of interested in. Is like, how are they going to move it off? It looks like it's grafted on.
We
They
had
were
to-
like Numenera screws.
Yeah.
And then when
That
they
left
came
no
out,
mark.
the flesh
And
kind
didn't
of
bleed.
healed.
Just left.
Wait, it
holes.
healed on its own after you,
It
like...
was fine when
you
they
did
took
that?
the thing off, yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
exactly what happened.
it wasn't. It was almost as if they didn't really pierce through her skin, as if they just like
Pushed it in a
passed
little bit?
through it in the way that some of us can pass through walls, perhaps.
Indeed. And so after we got it settled, someone passed through a wall.
Do we have a chronicler who's like chronicling everything?
I'm gonna start doing that now, like real.
On the last piece of One Piece.
On the last piece of Dragon Ball Z.
That would be great.
Okay.
I can give you a medium to put such information into the
medium.
world.
I was like, yeah, give it to
I
me.
mean, I will create one.
Even
I want
better.
to narrate these when we go back over.
Perfect.
Yes.
Last week,
Yeah, so we got the crown off,
Patsy
and
got his
then
ass kicked, but looked awesome doing it.
we had like a party confrontation since Joe got weird and just sneaked around behind Orion and Patsy, working with their secret stolen map. And after that confrontation, trust was established.
Surprising.
I think I'm aware of this too, like unless you were like out of my range.
Yes.
I'm just like aware of
You just
everything that's
existed in
going
my
on, whether I
thoughts.
want to or not.
We joked around that you were like tapped into the data sphere and just staring at the wall for a long time. Yeah, like every scene you were just off in the corner, like staring into the data sphere,
Like just drilling slowly.
with your eyes just rapidly going back and forth.
We then decided to rally around the compass map thing and follow it to the
Which is
wherever it was pointing.
what we were hiding.
I was busy because I found the vast stores of like porn for like 9 civilizations. I was like, there is so much lizard sex.
I've never seen that species, and now I'm seeing it
fornicate.
made.
Fantastic.
And then
So many genders. I'm so impressed.
we had already we interrogated this syzygy ghoul while you were with us at the end of the episode 2.
Oh, okay,
Is that
cool.
correct?
I assume that I play bad cop, right?
It was bad cop and murder cop.
And I was axe cop.
And so the syzygy ghouls had spoken of an eye that sent them visions and told them what to do. And it turns out when we followed the compass treasure map that it led to the room with the oh snap, I've got it written down.
The
The eye of transcendence,
Yes.
Nice.
The Eye of Transcendence.
which was closed when we entered, and
Was it
there
like
was
a
Which meant that we didn't see it.
yes, it was like a
So it was
A
this
small
giant
theater
sphere or
light.
something that was in like the wall?
It looked like that.
Oh, okay, so it looks like that.
Yes.
For those watching at home, the Eye of Transcendence. It was a giant synth ceramic eye that at the center of it was a black iris that had a weird blue flame flickering around in it. And those that looked into it were eerily pulled towards it and felt the need to kind of just stare at it and
Got shit on.
and yeah, felt their brains kind of boiling.
Monkey brains.
But it seemed at the same time that if they could withstand the sheer pain of it, that they could unravel the secrets of the universe, right?
Patsy was really gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Patsy's drawn to that
It's
shit.
too bad somebody who, is constantly tapped into things and overwhelmed is not around.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Well,
Sorry,
into it.
we shut that shit down and we took the power, basically the thing powering it, which happened to be a very, very large slab.
Oh, okay.
2 large slabs of midnight stone, which,
That's why you have
as you
so
know,
much.
is the currency sort of, or the energy source around here. Which
yeah,
goes for a
it's
lot.
the gold, but also maybe kind of oil. Like it's a really powerful energy source, but it's also chaotic and weird. So it hasn't quite been mastered yet, but it can definitely be used to power things. And these 2 stones powered this crazy otherworldly artifact or relic that was.
So it's like
eye.
a brick of spice or something. Too big.
Yeah, I mean it's like a, what did I describe it as? Like the size of a small person or something, right? It was like 4 feet tall.
Try your character.
I did.
It's
I don't know the skin tone, but
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got some more
So
viewers.
cool. Has the rest of the world seen us yet?
no.
Do you wanna
What
reveal
those 2 have?
Do you want to reveal it?
Yeah. I feel like we're just hijacking everything.
That hair is
That's
magic.
amazing.
Here, let me see if I can.
Oh my God! Which crew are you?
Oh, go to the
from
other
One
camera.
Piece?
Incredible.
Joe's probably a solo captain.
Awesome.
Joe wants to be a supernova.
Nice.
I want to be a Shichibukai.
Oh,
Excellent.
Patsy is.
Patsy is a Shichibukai.
Now I want to be Yonko.
Oh, yes. This is like,
Just keep
what
it
is
going.
it? The fisherman's wife? Where you're like, I want to be king, I want to be emperor, I want to be god. But, okay, I'm going to make you a secret note since Cash can read Joe's thoughts. There was meta knowledge, like there was a time where everyone else was asked to leave the room.
Yeah.
I had a
Oh,
one-on-one
really?
with the GM.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like
Yeah,
definitely
you would
relevant
know.
information would be in my mind, so I'm going to write you a secret note.
This is amazing.
While the secret note is happening,
Thank
we
you.
should roll.
The
Ah,
Who shall roll
the gravity well.
Have you rolled this yet?
I really donked it last week, so.
The gravity
You
well,
do it?
for those at home, is a difficult thing to explain, and since we have struggled explaining it every session, I sat down and I wrote a command for the chat.
Oh,
of gravity well.
Oh my gosh.
excellent.
Excellent.
So who hasn't
So,
rolled? The
check out the chat for the explanation of the gravity well.
This is
Do
the
it.
Oh man.
Oh, can I narrate this?
Hilarious.
The gravity well is an artifact of legend and ritual at the material components table. As an excessively large die, its presence affects the results of lesser die, like
Yes.
a gravity well.
Yes.
At the beginning of every session, it is ritually rolled by one player at a time until a result is decided upon. The higher the result, the greater the player's luck for the session. So behaves the magic of the gravity well.
Yes.
Oh.
Into the camera.
Wow.
And if you guys ever need an update on how the gravity well works, if you missed out on that explanation, feel free to do ! gravity well, and you'll get that explanation.
Okay, take us there, Patsy. Patsy.
Every time.
Excelsior.
Ooh.
Put a bird on it.
Put.
Oh,
Yes,
Something.
I ran out of space to explain the bird, but I think perhaps explanation point, put a bird on it, needs to be a command,
Oh,
but
yes.
that'll have it at,
It's
at
like
a later
anytime
point.
something
Yeah.
is like essentially decided.
You see, anytime that something happens in Portlandia that needs to be sold, you put a bird on
I
it.
don't see a bird.
Mm.
You can get a bird up on the top right.
Yeah, but where's the fancy?
I don't know. Oh, the owl I think is right there. It's on.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
Can you put a-
fancy.
can you-
Fancy
guy with,
owls
like, a really
only for
long
Patsy.
No, no humans.
Well,
It must
he looks
be.
more like man.
Yes.
Activate.
man than he looks more like beast.
And
than
so
man.
the gravity well has been activated once a bird has been put upon it, or some other appropriate creature, but oftentimes a bird is quite appropriate.
Quite.
And since we've got a 17 this week, I think the luck of the players will be quite nice.
That's.
Hey, where's your Spider-Man? Who's gonna be my user? Or
or am I a little like profile?
I think I don't know where it
I
is.
think the box is in the closet right now. So
No. Okay,
We'll get it at the break.
it's fine.
So, you guys procured one of the two giant blocks of midnight stone. Perhaps if you guys were ambitious, you could go back and find the other one. And through great difficulty, managed to get it across the expanse of the weird bridge that was self-compacting black hole garbage compactor, and down the elevator, a artifact was discovered of a multi-legged platform. Who knows what it originally was in ancient times, but now it is the equivalent of a truck bed with several weird legs. So. As accurately depicted by Taylor. So they loaded it upon that and got it out of the Jade Colossus and emerged into the light of day, I feel like I said.
Yes, we compared it to that feeling when you see a matinee at a movie theater.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Yes. And immediately after leaving the Jade Colossus, there's a gateway that people went through that has been blasted, a hole that's been blasted in the Jade Colossus because for a long time they didn't have any entrances to it. So they blasted a hole and then it healed up within a day. So then they decided that they would construct this weird metal collar. And they blasted a hole and stuck the collar in, and so the Jade Colossus has grown around the collar, so it's remained a hole that they can get in and out of. And there's a gatekeeper who let you guys out. And shortly after you exited, you stepped out into what is called the Wreckage, which is the part of Ballarad's city that is just kind of in ruins. When the Jade Colossus appeared and burst out of the ground, it destroyed this huge portion of the city. And so there is, several square blocks of city streets that are just destroyed, that are just rubble, that now a lot of strange people live in, some of which were waiting for you guys as you left. The Church of the Whisperers, I feel like it's called. Which there's so much whispering in Numenera, but yeah. Don't quote me on that, but they're a strange cult. That the leader was wearing a diaphanous robe and was speaking of the visions that she had seen, and had heard ripples from or had felt ripples from the skin of the Colossus, and all of her followers all appeared to be intoxicated and like hanging on her every word. And I believe she accused you guys of blinding the eye, if I recall.
It was more like it was not a hostile introduction. She was
that peered
these
into
are
the
those
eye.
who have spoken to the eye and have wisdom to give to us. And Patsy lied and said, basically at the end of the story was that Patsy was like, no, it was Bobert who did that. Bobert is
and so she went to find Bobert.
She said she had to reconvene with the eye, and that her people were kind of like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Were we misled?
They all seem like sheeple that are kind of following her, and they're enjoying themselves because they're definitely being given some kind of substance.
It was
For
kind of
uncultured
alien.
swine such as myself, can you describe what Webster's dictionary defines as diaphanous?
Diaphanous.
Yes.
It's like
Or just use it as
long flowing sleeves, right?
I was thinking of it as sheer.
yeah.
Sheer.
Like wings of a dragonfly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
cool.
off.
I like that. I'm good with that.
You
It didn't have to be
communicated this with
Webster's.
the word diaphanous.
Diaphanous. Well, I know that
I know what
sheer,
diaspora
like
is.
flowing robes are often described as diaphanous robes, so it's just kind of a pairing of words that I see often. So
The more you know.
yes, thank y'all. Thank you. Define. We need the app that defines words.
The app that defines.
The app.
The Numenera defines words.
Yeah. The Numenera define. How does the data sphere define diaphanous?
Light, delicate, and translucent, especially if
We nailed it.
Ah, there you go. Killed it, guys.
TY the data sphere.
TY the data sphere.
why
XP for the
The data sphere?
the data sphere, correct data sphere analysis. Yeah.
This is my ability. Damn it. I think we should all get it.
So you guys are currently standing in the wreckage, in the area of the city that is rubble.
Are we in a coastal city?
It is.
Okay. Just wanted to
Well,
confirm that.
yeah, I think it's on a river, if I recall correctly, but it is a mercantile.
It's a large.
The only reason I asked
Don't
is
mind the
like, I was
gulls.
like, I was hearing some seagulls.
Yeah.
Hey, I see gulls at Walmart, and we are a land-bound state.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
This is the map of.
Seagulls are really like the rats of like the
Yes.
sky.
I thought that was pigeon.
I mean, I like rats. They're like rock
They're
doves.
sky possums.
Or sky possums.
This is the map of Ballarat for those watching at home, and currently they are at T, which is the midnight gate, which is the gate that they just stepped through, and in the wreckage in that area.
That to be my name.
Sky possum.
So yeah, you can see the river. That's where all the seagulls are to be heard.
Hey, I'll
These are river gulls.
It is a port town in that a lot of trade is done
These are like
along the river.
future gulls.
Yeah, they have sagwar guys.
Yeah.
As if seagulls needed more specialized equipment to wreak havoc.
Some of them have 3 wings.
Is there such a thing as
Some
like a, you know, like in Morodin with Magic the Gathering, they had like that weird mycosynth or whatever. Is there such an analog in Numenera? Because that'd be kind of cool.
Of mushroom, of what? Mycosynth?
So like the mycosynth, it's like a mushroom-based or like silicon-based like mushroom sort of weird. I don't know what you call it, symbiosis, but like it infects everybody from like the neonatal level. So like when they're being conceived, they're like already infected with this stuff, and when they like grow up, they have like these bands of like muscles or whatever that are exposed, but they're like metal. So it's almost like everybody is like a varying level of cable, but like, but not their arm's not completely like replaced with like metal stuff. It's like it just appears in streaks and things.
Oh yeah, I'm
I
sure
wonder-
there's stuff like that in Numenera. Yeah, there's
That would be cool as
definitely
shit.
all kinds of weird
And if so, I want to dive right into it.
sentient funguses and Daniel's character in the previous campaign interacted with a weird sentient data eating
electrify me.
fungus. Yeah. So
Eating fungus. That sounds crazy. I want to see that. Okay.
And then I use it against my enemy.
so what you guys doing?
We gotta get this shit out of here. We can't be seen with this thing in here.
And Orion's got his cloak pulled far over his face, so his face is just totally blacked out right now. You can't even see it. And hopefully nobody from the Cabal of Whispers can see it, most importantly.
Yeah, no, Bobert is I would say like literally 3 steps ahead of you guys, but then realizes that he doesn't know where one would go and make a deal like this.
Yeah, we have to scout the
He's
markets.
passionately walking off and does a spin and comes back and is like, yeah, Patsy,
We
yeah.
can't use the Thieves Guild connections.
I'm over here going.
What? Oh, what happened?
Let's go.
I do
We're gonna have
think
to
it's
do
important to note that we have disguised our hall as if it's like a corpse being taken out. You know, like we've kind of stuck pieces
Yeah.
to make it look like it's a person.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so part of our bye-bye, thank you, diaphanous wearing cult leader message was we've got to take care of this dead
Yeah,
person.
alright.
So if we're gonna keep the guys up, we need to book it.
Well, Cash, Taylor's character, you do know a hook from your backstory that we talked about of the need for a battery, right? So if people are looking for it.
I just don't know where to go.
Let me
It's not
reference
Thieves
that
Guild
again.
connections.
It's been a minute.
Yes, it's the.
Was wondering where you're going with that.
Do you want me to recap it, or do you want to pull it up?
Does everyone else know it yet?
No.
Okay, then
heard
no.
of it.
Okay.
No, I feel like if I haven't shared that information, that's an opportunity to have some fun later.
Well, while he's pulling it up, you guys are heading towards city proper.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the
This
plan?
thing?
Would you guys like to see a map of Ballarat? Would that be helpful?
Let's take a look.
Probably would be helpful.
Could we like subtly go to the theater and use that as a base? And like Aster's dressing room is probably empty. Bobert,
you
you've
guys
been
are
there
up there
before.
at the
Can you
moment.
get us there?
Yeah, I mean, we've got this thing
Okay.
done up like a corpse, so at some point we either need to change what that looks like to go into certain places, or we need to find a place where it's reasonable to take such a thing
So
and be inconspicuous.
Bobert, can you
Here's-
get
here's-
us backstage?
Yeah.
I say we find a boat.
A boat.
I think this is not an area that's safe to try to, I guess, convert this loot into some pretty nice shins. But I believe I know someone. I have a contact who might be looking for such a thing.
Who's this contact?
All will be revealed at a later time.
I'm not taking this thing another step.
But I say,
river.
well, the less people know right now, I feel like the less likely information is going to get into the wrong hands. So just trust me on this one. But I say we go to the city of Ladon, which happens to be where I hail from.
Yeah, it is to the west. Let me pull up the map for those at home, but you guys can look behind.
Down the river.
It is west on the sea. It's a coastal city.
Oh, it's on the sea. Okay, gotcha.
So I would say
know
if
what
we're
this
on a river, maybe we should grab a boat and let's try to like haul this corpse. I believe it'd be easier for us to transport and smuggle this thing by like sea or river than it would be for us to just haul this corpse-looking thing around.
Well, unfortunately,
attract
it's
attention.
off the edge of this map, viewers at home, but it is a little bit further west
Down the river.
than the Westwood. But yeah, further down the Tithe River.
I say we try to find a contact that might be able to get us a boat. Maybe we can buy or rent one and just.
Ladon's a half a world away. That's a long ways to haul this thing.
Agreed.
Especially since we don't know who we're bringing it to.
Believe me, I think that you'll be very pleased with whom this person is, and I think they will reward us handsomely for our haul.
You're talking to thieves here.
You guys have any better
realize
ideas?
It's for a good cause, even though I know I'm talking to thieves, but I think it will be worth it. I think that this area of town that we're in doesn't seem very safe, and I think that if you just trust me, we'll just go get a boat.
As he says that, you see someone who's wearing rags, chasing around a dritch who's like stumbled into his home, which is just like a lean-to of random structure, like broken structures, and he chases it out, and he's like, "Hey, you got to get out of here, you weasel!"
He's saying that to us?
No, to
to
a
the
dritch that has
sorry.
wandered into his home.
I'm in the market for dritch eggs. Just still out there.
I think you'd have to make a roll against Patsy to get him to get on this random boat.
Hey.
And take this fortune down the river with you.
I'll back you up. Well, what's your idea, Patsy? I don't really see that you're in a position to bargain right now.
I think I've got plenty of position to bargain.
Well, where are we headed, if it's up to you?
I can find it. Someone give me a day. But not knowing where we're going seems pretty dangerous.
Well, if we need a day, we can probably hide out in the field.
But the Jade Protectors would pay a pretty price for this battery.
Agreed.
They're all about saving pieces of the Colossus.
They might just tell us to give it back, seeing as we took it from the Colossus.
They can pry it from my cold dead hands.
That won't give you any money, it won't get you any closer to your goal.
As you say that, Bobert, you feel a weird sense of like utter knowing that what you said is absolutely true, and a strange moment of being like, why do I feel so sure about that?
Don't take park property. Leave plants and twigs on the. Do not go off the trails.
Well, how about the Heritors? They're raiding it. What if we just show up at their doorstep with this?
Oh, are we ready to get in with the big dogs, as it were?
So you said big. Please tell me you said big dogs.
I
Big
did.
dogs.
I heard big dogs.
A recap of the two major
What clan is
factions.
this?
The two major factions in Ballarat. We got Jade Protectors are pretty religious, and like almost worship the Jade Colossus, and they believe that they should protect it and figure out the mysteries of it. And so they're dedicated to preserving the Jade Colossus as it is. And the heritors of the Colossus are raiders, right? They're going into the Jade Colossus and they're stealing everything they can from it, and they're selling it. They're profiteers. But they do have the upper hand in many regards over the Jade Protectors. One of which being, as you guys are hanging out in the wreckage, you see it drift by. It above you is an otherworldly flying vessel that flies by. That is called the Heritor's Ride, which is one of their prized possessions. Is a weird flying vehicle that they rumors have it that you can pay a pretty price to be dropped off at entrances only known to the Heritors of the Colossus by using this vehicle. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get involved in with the Heritors, but I definitely don't want to go down river not knowing where I'm headed.
It'll take us weeks.
Why don't we take a break somewhere dependable
You're
here?
not thinking as clear as we are. I think we'll all think a little clearer with a beer. Let's go to the theater.
Excellent.
Talk it over. Trying to give us some help, technical assistance.
A beer sounds good.
I should have wrote
The Catarask.
Catarask returns. You guys know of two inns that would be good choices. One with noodles. That's the cheap one, the Ballarat Inn, and the Inn of the Raised Hand is the more expensive one. And but
I say we go to the raised hand. It's on me.
Damn it!
Oh, it's on me. Wait a minute.
Why not? I'm feeling a little giving.
I think it's. Well, we can't haul a body in there.
Can we bury it?
The
It's a
theater
body,
is a
right?
straight shot through town from where we are now. Bobert can get us in the back door because Bobert has connections. We leave the body in someone's abandoned dressing room. I'm talking about Aster.
Can we just say...
you guys talking awfully loud about a body right on my front porch.
The
Get him!
weasel! Oh no!
Let's smack him!
Piss off, old man! I'm intimidating him. I'm not using effort. Well, I rolled a 3, but I do have I'm trained in it.
All right.
So it's a 6.
It does succeed. He's like, the lousy bastards shouting on my front
I'm
lawn.
gonna try to gently just put a hand on Orion's bicep and be like, without looking at him, just kind of say, looking out into the distance, I think that's one fast way to get yourself recognized.
Did you successfully intimidate him yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was about to join in and be like, if you'd like to also be a corpse, we all around.
Yeah, you want to be the second corpse.
Yeah. Oh, that would be perfect. We haul around 2 corpses. We tell someone that this one is a slab that is worth a lot of money. We turn into actual corpse.
Yes.
And we move on.
The classic,
go find a second one.
classic car full of, or the
Yeah.
truck full of
2
TVs, right?
suitcases.
But I agree. I think
Oh my God, this
feel
is
safe
so much.
dropping this thing off and
It's a lot.
discussing. Up to you, though, Orion.
I think we should be calling
Well, let's-
something different.
We can bring it to the theater, but I don't know about leaving it there unattended.
Not unattended.
Well, let's make a move for it then.
Off we go.
Dude, we have to stealth. How do we do this? We have to play it cool. Coconuts?
Yeah.
The stealthiest mode of shooting.
Fly casual. Who's got the Jade Colossus book?
I don't.
Do.
Do not. It's not me. With the book.
The beer flavored book.
The beer flavored book.
Oh, I tasted it. It's many pages.
Ryan, what does your character sound like when it...
A Siamese cat from what was it? Bobert and company.
Because I realized that because I'm supposed to be like picking up weird traits and things, I was like, it would make sense if I'm around Joe a lot. I would start to like pick up mannerisms. I need to start trying to introduce those because I haven't really done that yet.
Hannah was just thinking about how she was like, do you think in actual sentences? And I was like, not really. And so she was like, I feel like reading thoughts would be more like looking at pictures or like word clouds.
Yeah, it'd be
It'd be
weird.
like, what's that Mysterium?
Yeah.
I guess so.
A series of confusing pictures.
So I guess rather than having direct thoughts, it's more like I'm getting like a dream of what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I guess I can understand that. It's like vague enough. I'm like,
It's like a vision.
did I read that right? What was that? And there's cats and shit in there. What's going on?
Probably.
Cats hadn't been around for like 3 civilizations, man.
What even is that?
Alright. I tapped into this. I don't know what cats are. It's full of cat videos. Are you joking?
Yeah,
That's what I was watching for like, I don't know, 4 hours last week.
And then whatever replaced cats. There's a lot of videos of that too.
Riches?
No.
Hopefully.
All right, so you guys are journeying into the city,
Yes.
and you're being
We're trying.
sneaky
And you're
about
going
it.
to haul this body
I guess we should just
through the city?
go quickly and quietly. Let's not.
You should totally just leave it with me and I'll watch it while you guys go and talk about it.
Well, my other idea is send Joe ahead as a weird distraction. Everyone.
Yeah, well, I'm basically going to be, either carrying this thing or walking next to it and just, like, basically giving everyone the fucking stink eye that even looks at us. So I'm going to make effort. I'm going to take
I'm not
effort.
carrying it.
I have
I'm
2
walking
efforts, so
behind
I'm like,
Hell
I'm
no.
pushing this. I'm using both effort. Intimidation and threats of violence, just in general. Like, if someone fucking looks at me, I'm, like, grabbing my, weapon. Like, don't even ask.
Can I also like be trying to intimidate, but like because I'm fucking SpongeBob, and like, hi, step away. So I have like a negative against any rolls.
You hit a hindrance.
So I rolled a 9, and I'm eased by 3 steps.
Dang. All right. Yeah.
I'm trained, and I did 2 effort.
People see you coming and are getting out of the way.
I am
right?
particularly making an exception for anyone that appears even remotely to be associated with the Cabal of Whispers. Of course, I'm keeping an eye out for them.
You're not seeing anyone at the moment. So you guys move across the White Bridge, which is one of several bridges in the city, and it is the only bridge that didn't fall when the Jade Colossus arrived because it's a prior world structure. So it's made of it's seemingly made of one bridge-shaped piece of white synth or stone. Maybe it's not clear what it's made of, but it's perfectly intact from before the
Shoulder cuff of a giant robot.
and there are several people who are fishing along the bridge that are looking your way as you're approaching, and you're giving them the eye, and they're like, shying away. They're looking back at their fishing rods and their catches and whatnot, and are kind of just glancing your way as you pass nervously. And then you guys are passing by, some busy market, and you arrive at the theater, which currently there is.
It's nearby. Well, people have to park their beasts of burden somewhere.
That's true.
So we get a judge. This is salt of the earth in this bar, okay?
The theater is not.
There's hardly anyone there.
It's during the day, so there's people passing by, but the seats are all empty. But there is a barker out in the front who is announcing, right, and is saying, her triumphant return, Aster the Great, has returned from within the Jade Colossus and wishes to sing this eve of what she has seen. And there's like several people who are like pausing and being like, oh, Aster has returned, I haven't seen, you could tell there's some excitement being drummed up.
Bobert is at the front of that excitement. Like a surge, he is the crest of that wave of excitement. Will come up, will just like
You've had
this
just every hollow
expression
CD.
of you are the person that I am most grateful to have ever seen in my life to this barker.
Yes.
Just like put a hand on their shoulder and that is wonderful news. Aster's doing all right.
There's something weird about this guy's eyes are all green. Everything's weird in the ninth world, so his eyes are completely green as you approach. But
Is that that's normal to see? Or
no,
no,
not necessarily.
It's just weird.
It's just weird.
But weird things aren't.
I'm just trying to figure out, is that something that we would pick up on as being weird, or is that just like, okay, you guys got another like weird thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. It's weird, but yeah, you're used to seeing.
It's uncommon, but we're
Yeah.
used to seeing weird things.
Mhm.
So it's not like it's a normal
It's just
thing.
all green, like
Yeah.
there's no color or whatever you can call it.
And
iris.
it seems like there's various splotches on his skin as well that are green. So maybe he's got some kind of mutation or something going on. But he's an effective barker.
Blessed creature.
I'm putting in some earbuds. I don't want to hear the singing. Just slightly suspicious.
Yes.
What did you say to him? I'm sorry.
I asked. Well, I just remarked that like Aster's better. She's feeling better.
If you turn it back, I'm really quiet the fuck down.
Yeah, hey! There's just a passing crowd all of a sudden.
I want to intimidate, and then you have to.
If Aster's feeling,
Yeah, that's great news that she's healed. She's feeling better.
he looks a little crestfallen for a moment and is like, well, I don't know that it'll be her best performance, but she seems pretty enthusiastic, so I'm giving it my best.
She in right now?
No, she's. Oh yeah, because she lives at the theater. So
backstage passes.
Working on it. Cash comes up and is like,
hey, backstage passes.
Come on. I got all her holovids.
Yeah, she's healing up in her room and doing some practice. She's composing some new melodies, some new songs for the evening.
she's healed in the way that matters if she's back to her composition.
You can hear the music drifting out from one of the windows.
Is this turning into like romance novel?
I'm gonna follow that like a sweet
Our Hannah and
romance.
Sophie plan.
Aster's a sultry maiden.
Indeed.
I wish to be a cock blocker, but I'm an unintentional cock blocker.
Yeah, it's. I'm head following the music, man. He told me she was in, and I'm like, cool.
And we just slide
Yeah.
in the background. We're like inching
Slide
closer to the door.
He's like, oh, does Aster know you?
We're the ones that found her.
You're what?
We're the ones that found her.
Oh yes, I've heard tell of this. You and you rescued Bobert and his crew.
Good old Baldur. Is Baldur in?
No, Bobert is quite drunk at the moment.
That's my boy.
That was Boulder from like two bars away.
Yes.
I'll be sure to get the Barker's name, of course.
Oh, why you do this? He just goes by Barker.
Barker the Barker.
Robert loves him. Alright.
He was raised an orphan, and this was his first job, so he just kind of.
Well, he can have a shin for his work.
Really, Bobert? Thank you.
Oh, many thanks. and yeah, he cracks open the door for you guys,
Cool.
and he says, "Oh, are you taking that thing with you?"
It's something we think she ought to see.
Well, all right.
Yeah, Barker, please do your job. Thanks. You're not bouncer, are you, Barker?
He goes back to shouting. In her triumphant return.
Alright.
That was you. Yeah. I was touching my upper thigh. I was like,
Sorry, getting a little fresh over here. Sorry, I'm a little drunk already.
This is not the first
cat's
time
tail.
this
It
has
was doing
happened.
this. It was like.
It's not my first word. Cash is all
Right.
about that polyness, you know.
Yes.
Excellent.
Alright, I'm just gonna use my best judgment to find out where Aster's room is.
Yeah.
And I'm like just
Listening for the sound of the music. Yeah.
Follow that.
I think I would
Holds my
actually
soul.
stay outside of this situation. I'd probably stay outside the theater, in the alleyway. Yeah, I'm not going in.
I'm going in.
Thank you.
I don't really want to be seen.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'm
What,
looking
you
out.
know?
Yeah.
He's looking out, having a smoke.
Because I'm worried about people having followed us. So I got my eyes
Totally.
on the street.
Thanks
All
for
right.
getting the GM ideas.
You guys
I'm good at it.
arrive.
We get in trouble now.
And she opens the door and she's like, Balder. Oh, excuse me, Bobert. My name's-
She was thinking it would be Balder, but it was like immediately she's like,
Oh,
Robert's
no, she's like
depressed.
Bobert.
No, Bobby's not depressed.
Bobby is Balder. Can we call Bobert Bobby now? Can we call him Bobby?
And she moves forward and
Yeah,
embraces
bring
you.
him in. Yeah.
Puts her instrument down, kind of throws it to a cushion, and
Or we might even pick her up and spin in a circle.
Yes.
That is so good to see
she
you.
seems a little half-hearted about the spin. And as you part ways, you see that she's crying.
Astrid.
I'm sorry, it's been emotional. I feel very inspired to write some great music, but I'm haunted by the things that I did in the Jade Colossus.
Boulder is. Shit! What have you done? Bobert!
Sorry.
I knew it.
Just change your character.
Yeah,
It's time.
Bobert forever!
The chat goes wild.
no, save Bobert.
Kirby's not here to defend you.
Hold the screen.
Where are you, Kirby?
We need Kirby to join. Where's
Kirby was sick.
Oh, poor Kirby.
Sorry, Kirby, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Pour some out for the
I
Kirby.
did
Pour
like
one out
guide
for
her.
Kirby.
Yeah, I imagine there's like a chair or
Kirby's not
something that
available.
we
My
can
cat.
sit down. Like Bobert's ready to have like a heart-to-heart personal conversation right now and has completely forgotten about everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
They're all
I was like,
awkwardly
oh, we're
standing.
talking about feelings. Let's go.
Feelings. Tell me about your feelings.
Yeah, he's like totally nodding and giving the right like face to be like, yeah, tell me more about this hauntedness. And
I gave commands to destroy Ballarat. I'm glad that it was stopped, but I witnessed humans, explorers like us, eaten. As she leans back in her chair.
Thank you, Keith, for saying that.
Extra dimension.
Her extra dimension. No, that was Daniel actually. That was Patsy
Cut to
producing
Patsy
his
in the-
extra dimensional chair.
Sitting outside.
I'm
Leaning
like
on it, it's
leaning
loud.
right against the wall, just like this, just like smoking my cigar. Outside in the alley.
I just want to like come in and like ruin the moment and be like, hey, you ready to like move that giant piece of like moonstone, sunstone, whatever it is? It's disguised as a dead body.
we got something we'd like you to keep an eye on.
Oh, sorry.
What's
This is my friend Cash, who helped come to get you. And I believe Joe feels here.
I'm not looking at your things.
Yeah, looking
Does
away.
Joe feel say that? I'm
Yes.
not looking at your things. And,
I have an inability negative to pleasant social interactions.
So you're just weird.
Excellent.
Yes,
Yes.
literally.
and
Yes.
Mr.
Joe feel it.
Gallows here.
He's outside, or no, he's inside, but Patsy's outside.
Yeah, I'm inside the building and probably, with the thing that's been brought inside, right?
You're like hiding out in like in a hallway or something, or like an empty room, or in the corner of a bar, like where?
I mean, I'm waiting to figure out where we're taking this thing. So yeah, I'm just up against a wall somewhere, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible.
Okay. Where is everyone else? Is it just those two that are in
No.
the room? And then
I think everybody went with and brought this.
Everyone
thing with,
except Patsy.
Okay.
Wait,
so then that actually
y'all
did
are
happen
in-
where I get barged in and just like.
Y'all are in her room, right? So it's like a private area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it actually took a little bit to get this thing
I
through the door.
imagine, yeah. So what's
Flip
your
it! You gotta
verdict
turn it!
on-
At this point, you guys have unloaded the thing from the
Yeah.
cart, and so the cart is just hanging out in the street. It looks like it's like
ready to go if it gets.
it's kind of it's weird, and like one of its legs isn't working quite right because it's like it was salvaged.
I
yeah.
kicked it to try to make it stand up straight, and it made it worse.
Oh man, it makes me think of that video of the like weird walking robot,
Yes.
and the guy that like kicks it a couple times.
That's exactly what it
Boston
was.
Dynamics.
That's
Exactly, yeah. Have you seen the thing that's like, this is the video that they will show the robots that like convinces them to overthrow us later on? Look at these humans being cruel to us, like kicking us over and trying to knock us down. And you kind of feel bad for that robot, right?
It's just trying to do its thing, man. It's just trying to walk
Just
across.
walking.
Alright, but what's she say about we've got something that we need to keep somewhere safe? Can we keep it here?
What is it?
Mr. Gallows, it's up to him to show you because it's rarely his, right?
Yeah, I pull the cover off of
She's
the...
like I don't have the kind of security at this place to protect us. You just walked right in. Probably Barker just let you in, didn't he?
Yeah, Barker did.
Yeah, bless his heart.
He's a good find. You got good people around you.
I wish we could hire someone to at least stand guard next to him, but
The hope is no one knows it's here.
well, did anyone see you coming in?
Perception check.
It's a dritch.
Just a dritch.
How do I do that?
An old drunk one. Intellect check.
Oh, it can smell it.
I got
like
a 12.
a mile
I'm
away.
looking around. I was sucking on my cigar.
Yeah, everything seems normal out on the bustling street.
Yeah, I do need.
However, GM intrusion. So you get an XP and you can pass
I'm leaning
one to
against the
someone
wall.
else.
I feel like we need like a little like wave file or whatever that you can.
I know.
It's like.
Oh, actually, Daniel, give me that red pouch.
How about this one? Yes.
Yeah, GM intrusion.
Epic
One coin will be an
coins.
XP.
I'll
you
decide who I give it
one
to in a minute.
nice.
You can also give it back to not have this intrusion.
Well, that's true. I'm waiting to hear what it
True.
is.
You can.
I like to hold it while I decide. Because I love XP.
That's the deal.
At the very bottom of your pack, hidden beneath all of your casual belongings, is your mask. The mask that you wear when you take the form of the Cabalist of the Cabal of Whispers, right? And you hear the sound of it whispering. And you know this as something that Cabalists will do. They can send out a kind of alert that will... Yes.
It's like you're all on radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a group text. To anyone within the area, their mask will start whispering, and you can kind of
Tune in.
you can have it close to you and kind of follow the warmer, colder, and find them. And it's a thing that is kind of like any Cabalist in the area come meet, and we'll have a talk. Like we'll have a meeting among the Cabalists, right?
I kind of want to see where this is going.
That's why I give you the experience. Because I'm keeping it.
Go with it.
I mean, I was kind of thinking about walking out anyway. I was like, I don't know, Aster, this is boring to me anyway.
Well, you don't know that's
No,
happening.
you won't come. I'm just giving you the XP.
Okay, that's
So when I stand up, I totally throw my stogie down and step on it. And I just walk away. And as I do, my chair vanishes.
Yes. It vanishes behind.
And then I was probably in conversation with Barker or something, and he's like blabbing and looking another way, and I'm just walking off and disappear like Batman.
Yeah. When he turns back and is like,
I go behind a corner and toss my mask on.
we'll come back. We'll come back to that.
As I sleuth off into the the alleyway.
We shouldn't need to leave it here long. We just need enough time to figure out what we're gonna do with it.
To do what with it?
No,
We
it's all
just
right in
need
the
enough
front
time to
middle.
figure out what we're gonna do with it. We shouldn't need to leave it here long.
I got a storeroom that I can put it in. That there's not going to be anybody posted to guard it or anything, but I hate to say it, but I don't want it in my room. I've had enough people break in and wreck my furniture and steal my things.
Is this who you were
Really?
playing as?
Spider-Man.
Well, so I mean, out of character, I don't see Orion leaving this thing's side in this place, and I don't want to like exclude myself from things, but like this is the entire reason that he has ousted himself from the guild is to get the treasure map that has led him to this thing, and this thing will potentially buy his girl's freedom. So
I feel like
this is his whole purpose.
Vibes of discomfort. Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of that is public knowledge amongst the rest of us?
Only Bobert.
Only Bobert
And
knows.
does
knows.
Patsy know?
Patsy knows, yes. Patsy helped me escape. And I mean, Joe knows about the map and that I was there to get this treasure. So she knows that part,
So
but
you would know
doesn't.
that too then.
Yeah, you would know that as well, but doesn't know anything about that I want to use the money to basically buy my girlfriend's freedom.
Okay, so
Because for those watching at home, Jovial and Cash have a psychic connection
I want to.
through the
I
data
don't know
sphere.
if this is
I
the
don't
right
know
opportunity
about
now to be able to do it, but I want to pull you aside for a private conversation.
Yeah, probably not yet because I'm still inside. But I mean, are you in there with
we could
me?
say
I'm
that.
with you, but-
We could say that they, you guys are moving this thing to the storeroom. She shows
Yeah.
you where the storeroom is, and so you guys are moving it there.
Well, I would also ask her since she's not super comfortable about it, getting vibes of discomfort, and it is a risk. But so I'll ask her if she has any ideas of a place since she's local. If she had something like this to hide, where would she hide it? She'd be like, I don't make bad life decisions. Oh wait.
Give me a persuasion. Yeah, intellect. Nice.
Nice.
She says,
Aren't those fun?
I know. I wouldn't tell anybody but you this, Bobert. But when I've had things like this that I needed hidden, I hid them under the stage.
Clever woman.
There's a few loose boards, maybe not enough to fit this, but we could make a few more.
I'll look over at Ryan like, what you think?
Man, when's the show happening? Are we not going to be able to get it out?
Tonight, my triumphant return, as Barker says.
It's very triumphant.
That's my only worry is if we need to move it.
That just means we gotta make a decision before the show.
I think we cover it in the storeroom and I stay by its side.
Meanwhile, the wagon is following you. Just because it doesn't know what else to do.
Wagon is following me. Oh,
It like
wait,
stops
wrong-
and it
wrong
like
type of
wiggles
wagon.
its like abdomen, like it's like happy.
I'm like,
You could just
pissed
tell
about
it to stop or
Yeah,
go back.
I like kick it again.
Can I like whistle for it or
This is
something?
like that Airbud moment. Go away! Where he's.
Yeah.
Go away.
Throwing rocks at it.
I don't want it to leave, but I know it's good for it.
Or
so I'm
Harry and the
crying
Hendersons.
Yes,
That was the tear-jerking moment at the end
Yes.
of the movie.
You have to leave. No, but yeah, I would have gotten rid of it. I'm obviously trying to be like more stealthy in this thing.
All right. I would request that the rest of the group step out for a moment while I have a private with Daniel. As he,
Oh, just Daniel. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
as he meets with this
Cool.
figure.
Ah, yes. I'm very excited.
Do you want me to put on any particular music, Keith?
Something devilish.
Something weird?
How about a?
Which would? Or do you want like are they meeting in like a tavern or something?
Yeah.
Like that? A seedy tavern, perhaps?
Yeah, but is there a quiet? I think there's a quiet.
Almost empty.
Yeah, almost empty.
An almost empty, seedy tavern.
It's like one of the selections.
All right, so Daniel, if you could sit at that seat, that would be
Sure.
great.
Nice, a person coughing.
That is perfect. All right.
I gotta sit like Patsy does.
I have to double check my note, which had beer spilled on it, so it's a little bit difficult to read. But
Sorry, my bad.
no, you're good. You're good. So, Patsy, you follow your mask. The strange whisperings of the mask become louder and louder until you feel certain that you have found the place, and it is the Ballarat Inn, and there is the sound of noodles slurping and whatnot. And so, as is the culture of the Cabal, because it's very secretive, the identity of most members, like the true identity of most members, is not known. So whenever you meet with them, everyone is wearing masks, right? So you put your mask on as you step into the Ballarat Inn, and you see a figure indeed wearing a mask. I had a picture in one of the books, but it will have to wait. But yes, it's a figure wearing fine silk clothing of nobility, with not any kind of distinguishing sigils or whatnot. Is just a very plain, and is seated at a table in the corner, sipping from a glass of brandy.
Oh, perfect.
And someone coughs. Coughs loudly. Raises his glass as he sees you enter.
Yeah, so I order from the bar real quick, grab my own glass, sit down.
The barkeep had his name up, but he's a burly fellow and was a former adventurer, but opened up the Ballarat Inn. And a noodle aficionado, but he's a burly man and says, another weirdo with a mask, I see.
I throw him the shins he needs for the drink, and I say,
Brandy. Well, a shin's a shin. Your money's good here. Does a pour and passes it your way.
snatch it up. I down it right there, throw the glass back, and go sit down.
All right. You sit down, and you do recognize the mask. Everyone has kind of unique masks, right? So you recognize the mask as Cabalist Hunger, and you are known as Cabalist Thirst.
Okay.
Right. And so he greets you with a secretive code expression, right? You know, something like the sun how it rises in the west, and you reply with the appropriate response.
The wind blows east on the morrow.
on the morrow. And he says, I must say, Cabalist, and to give you an idea of ranking and whatnot, right? You guys are pretty close, ranking wise, within the order, and this guy has often been one-upped you in various different avenues, and you didn't realize that he would necessarily be here. You've encountered him in Shalamas, which was the city that you guys were at before. So you've had encounters with him before, and you don't know his true identity, but you know his identity as a Cabalist, right? And so he says, I must say, your work tracking down Orion has been quite impressive.
You know of it?
Why, yes. I had heard of sightings fitting your description, leaving the Jade Colossus with him, and on top of that, with a grand piece of cargo from within the Jade Colossus. Might that be the treasure from the map that he stole from us?
Not quite.
Not quite. What is it?
Making a
Bluff, yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely making a bluff. So I'm trained in lies.
Excellent.
Sorry, I'm specialized in lies.
Specialized. And you can use effort.
Yes, I am. What is it?
That'll shift it by 3. You don't necessarily know the difficulty.
Yeah, no. Trying to think of what it is that I would say that it is. Some god awful machine from the inner workings of it. It seemed important at the time. It seems like
Someone's choking on some noodles.
it seemed possible that it could draw dritches toward it, potentially tame them. I thought it could be useful. Oh shit, I rolled a 19.
Nice. All right. Yeah, what kind of a minor effect do you want? Perhaps an ease of the next lie you make against him, or more information about what he's looking for, perhaps. The lie was effective, but yeah, you get.
Yeah,
you get
I'm gonna say I probably like I want a hunch because I feel like he drew me here. Like it wasn't like he made a call out to anyone in the area. I feel like he knew, so he knows something about me. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oftentimes there will be several, but you're not. There will be several Kabbalists who come to these kinds of calls, but you're also not really familiar with how it works in smaller areas, right? This is like a smaller city than Shalamas or Charmant, the capital, right? So yeah, it seems strange that it's just you two. Yeah, you get a sense that he really wants to strike some kind of bargain with you, and that he is really driven towards Orion, right? That maybe he was assigned to track him down.
So let's be honest. You don't care what I brought out of the Colossus. You care about Orion.
I do, but I thought you were skilled enough to manipulate him into using the treasure map and serving you to find it and then extract it, and then you would have reward for the treasure and for his capture. But alas, you maybe are not that clever.
Listen, I'm loyal to the guild. I don't know what that treasure map leads to, and I don't need to know its contents. Whenever I do capture Orion, which is close, then I will return the treasure map to who it rightfully belongs to.
What if I were to offer you a deal? You see, I was assigned to find Orion, and so I have, through great sorceries of my own, constructed a foolproof trap to catch him. It seems that he is in your favor, and perhaps you could just ensure that it happens. And then we just split the profits, and he's no the wiser.
The deal, then. What is it exactly?
The deal?
Yes, there has to be something in it for me. Clearly I could take Orion to the Thieves Guild myself, claim the full reward.
Then why haven't you already?
You underestimate this man, I think. He's
Yes.
strong-willed, and he lives up to his name.
I believe that. He's escaped the gallows how many times?
He will not escape me. But just like with a mouse, if you haven't baited it correctly, it will flee.
But you see, in this plan, you would be the bait, and I would have the foolproof trap set.
So again, I'm interested. What do you have to offer?
Half of the profits from returning Orion, and we keep the treasure map, and perhaps we fund an expedition, and we share the profits of that as well.
I wish money was enough to sway me.
What is it that you wish for?
As any intelligent member of the Thieves Guild, information.
Information on what?
The head.
The High Kabbalist?
Indeed. My reasons are my own.
I might know a thing or two. Perhaps that could be negotiated. What information are you seeking? Some way to get in his favor?
Favor and an audience.
I do know such a way. But it will require this trap to be sprung.
I think I can help you. But I want some provable information first. Information about the head that I can ensure that you're not lying. And after that, I will trust you to give me the rest of the information after I provide your client.
Give me a persuasion.
Absolutely. Definitely using effort. I rolled another 19.
Nice.
Oh.
Excellent.
Shoot.
Excellent.
Wow.
He says, well, I would say that the fastest way to the favor of the High Kabbalist, and certainly advancement within the Cabal itself, would be a secret desire that the High Kabbalist has. You see, he is dying.
Interesting.
Of old age. And he seeks an immortality cipher, perhaps an artifact. There have been rumors of such things here and there, but none have been produced for him. But I feel if you were to accomplish that, that great things would be ahead for you. And perhaps you might even see under his mask.
I think we have an accord. I don't feel it's safe to tell me the plan of Orion's capture yet. But I feel like there will be another time when you can relay this information to me. I don't trust this bar necessarily.
No one can hear us. He shows some kind of weird globe that he's holding, some kind of weird Numenera.
Okay, then what? What is the plan?
Well, I wanted to make sure that it happened somewhere where much would be happening in order to ensue the chaos.
The market, then?
But you see, a famed performer has returned from within the Jade Colossus and is performing this evening, and the theater, the Ballarat Theater, shall be packed.
Indeed.
I wish only that you ensure that he be there.
Must it be tonight?
I feel that the most people would be there tonight. What would you need more time for?
Nothing. I don't need more time. I think I can get it there.
Well, then I think we're done here, are we not?
I think so. And with that, I stand up, briskly walk out.
He does the Kabbalist salute or whatever. You guys, yeah.
Walk out. very briskly.
Yes. Yeah, and stuff your mask back in your pack.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a full sprint.
Damn. All right. All right. We're gonna go on a 5-minute break, guys, and we'll be right back when we have all the rest of the players around the table.
from like Witcher 3.
And we're back.
Priscilla.
Thanks for staying tuned, guys. So we return to at the theater, the Ballarat Theater. You guys are have just finished prying up a few extra floorboards from the stage.
Wait, which did we decide?
Oh, were you doing that?
I
Or not?
think that Orion preferred to keep it in the store, and it's kind of up to him.
Oh, I pull Orion aside, but I'm not making everybody else leave the room. Because we just did that. Listen, Orion, I know you don't know me very well. I know I don't sound very trusting sitting here snacking on some crackers. But
Snacking on some weird crackers.
space crackers
Space
that
crackers.
I found in the Jade Colossus.
Oh gosh!
Does everything taste purple?
Don't eat that shit.
But how would you like to make a lot of money?
As long as I make enough money to buy a certain someone's freedom, I'll be satisfied.
Someone's freedom. Very interesting character development there, but I'm going to glaze right over it. And we'll revisit that at a later time. While I continue doing some exposition.
Cash says all of that is what I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, he is like probably on the spectrum or something, is just not very good at like reading the tone or anything. Like he just fumbles through everything. He's got too much going on in his head.
Yeah, a lot of voices.
He's like ADHD, but like cranked to like 11 because of all the stuff that's going on.
Someone says a funny word like diaphanous, and he's like, "I'm gonna go look that up in the data sphere," and then is like, "I'm sorry, what were we talking about?"
Except it just looks like I'm like sleeping. Like, what now? So I happen to have my contact has to be a very wealthy individual from the kingdom of, I think it's Gon. Did I get that right? Okay. Kingdom of Gon. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
I feel like it is the king, wasn't it? The king was offering a reward.
I'm not tell that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's a very high.
Sorry.
As you have probably heard, the Kingdom of Gon has been under siege lately by a I don't know what their names are, but they're basically a super intelligent race of octopodal people.
Whoa.
They're actually just called octopi.
Okay, octopi, sweet.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they had a name yet, but what do you want to call them? Just like the supremacy of octopi or whatever.
Sounds great.
And word has been put out that there will be a hefty reward. Well, actually, I haven't got to that part yet. So, anyways, they have had, in order to protect the city, they have had these shield generators that usually help them withstand blasts that are coming from, incoming enemies or raiders. After all, this is a coastal town, or coastal kingdom, so they tend to get raiders on a regular basis. That said, the super intelligent race of the supremacy of octopi have managed to infiltrate our kingdom and destroyed the batteries, thus destroying the protective shield. Right now, that kingdom is under siege very hardcore. They are not doing great right now. So, if you are looking to make some extra shins, there is a reward out right now for some replacement batteries. Now, I don't want to reveal who my particular contact is, but they happen to be a very wealthy individual with a lot of power and say in this particular region of the world. So trust me on this when I say that it would be a good move for us to try to sneak this slab of midnight stones out of this area, out of this town of, is it Belrad? Belrad. And try to make our way to the Kingdom of Gon. Please
try to use discretion on this, but just go with me on this. I think we need to try to shift our priorities. We need to head. What cardinal direction are we going?
West,
We need to head west.
along the Tide River.
That.
That sounds like a fair plan. We may have some loose ends to tie up here before we get on a boat, but
And the
think
cost
that-
is roughly plot fortune.
how much we would get for it, you mean?
Okay, it was like the cost of a boat.
price.
We'll never make
I was like, wait a second. That's a lot.
Plot fortune.
Oh, in order to rent the boat or buy the boat?
No, your reward
Oh,
would
the
be
reward.
would
So-
be a fortune for each of you, right? It would be early
As much
retirement.
as we need for the plot.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give me your immediate answer no. But the next time I mention it, maybe I don't know.
I'll keep it in mind.
Think about it. Just think about it.
cards.
Crackers.
Space crackers.
Space crackers, yeah.
Now slink back into the main group.
Cool.
What have you guys decided to do with the slab?
Well, I think we were kind of waiting until Orion gives.
Yeah, I don't feel good about putting it under the stage because if we need to move it, then it's in the middle of a show. If it's in the storeroom, we can probably like get it out of the theater without people noticing.
Excellent point, Orion.
Try to get on your good foot.
So yeah, I think the storeroom is where I would like to take it.
Okay.
Well, I'm easily manipulated too, but I'm great at lying. So
And I feel like I would want to stay somewhere nearby to make sure that it's safe.
All right. As you guys are moving it into the storeroom, it starts to glow.
no racial malice fault.
The battery's glowing.
It casts a deep jade colored light.
Hold up, what's Richard Glow?
The slab
battery.
of midnight stone.
Oh, Cass was trying not to fall.
It's casting this greenish jade light across the room. It's not particularly bright, but it's vibrant and rippling in the way that light when it's hitting water can do, right?
I'm immediately covering it back up
rubbing your
with
face against
the blanket or whatever that we had covering it before.
Yeah, it's similar to a flashlight through a
Yeah.
blanket. Yeah, where it's definitely still visible. Patsy is still outside, and as you're moving, you're running, you're sprinting towards the theater, and you see the looming shape of the Jade Colossus on the horizon, and it starts to glow in a similar fashion. Right, it's projecting this weird green light. And then everyone hears all at once the deafening sound of klaxons. Right?
I know what that is.
We need the siren on here.
Yeah, there's one on the sci-fi thing, but I don't have it.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
don't have it pulled up or downloaded. But yeah, terrible siren. Everybody, give me a intellect defense.
What? I'm just making noise.
I'm trained. I got a 7.
Dang it, man! I've used all my points in it, so I can't.
I don't have a dice.
Dice. Someone give this gentleman.
Yes,
I was too busy like being enthralled in like flavor
I
flavor
just gotta
blast.
go with a roll here.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, I feel okay about that. 14.
Oh. 5.
Are you using effort? Anyone using effort?
I couldn't use
No
effort.
one called it.
I've already spent
I can
it.
call it. Let's see what happens. Cash
Just
loves
15 the
fucking things
DC.
up.
15. Yeah, is fine.
Does-
What, a 12?
No, I mean I
I got
had a
7, but I
14.
eased.
Oh.
So does a 12 do it?
Yeah,
Okay, thank God.
7 eased.
a 7 and it's eased. Okay, that does it. Yeah. What'd you get? 12. Okay. So who failed? You two guys. All right.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you.
twins
We
here.
failed because we share a link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One fails, we all
it gets a crazy feedback between the two of you guys. You both drop down to your knees and are for the moment unable to do anything. Right? You're just completely like, ah! And Patsy, as you're running down the street, you're like clutching your temples and holding your ears, and you're like stumbling, running as fast as you can still, but you're seeing people are stumbling out of their homes and holding their heads, and you're seeing like windows breaking, and animals are like rearing up and going nuts. People are stumbling out into the streets and collapsing and like clawing the coughing. Yeah. And then all at once it ends.
Whoa, okay, right. First thing, as soon as get over it, is be like, holy crap, Joe, are you okay? I don't know that I need to roll something particular to like medical check.
Okay.
I appreciate your concern for only one of the 2 party members.
I feel like I'd like to fall to the floor after that.
There's 2 people here. I don't know why this is on me, Cash. Why don't you look to Orion for assistance?
I guess actually, I take back the paralyzed, and we'll say instead it's just 4 intellect damage that you guys take. That I think is.
I like that even worse.
Makes more sense. Yeah.
That's only the people who failed.
Who
right?
failed? Yeah.
How much damage did it take?
Fewer
4. Yeah.
intellect.
Oh, I didn't. Did I? I assume I healed, right? Because I was like.
Yeah, we were.
You can use both of these.
Have you
Yeah,
guys
since-
healed at all in the last round?
Yeah,
rested,
yeah.
I
Then I
think,
healed.
They
3
slept
times.
overnight.
Just,
Yeah.
just roll twice and add it up, and then
Okay.
D6s.
Low living
I need to give it some. Good 5.
5. Roll again.
5, baby.
So you got a total of 12.
Get some. Oh,
You
okay.
add 1 to it.
Okay.
So just disperse that among that, and then take your damage.
Well, really, I'm gonna. 20. Oh, no, I might.
There you go. Whoa, this is terrifying.
It's very traumatic.
And the crystal is no longer glowing.
No, it stopped
Okay.
glowing, and the Colossus stopped glowing.
And how are you doing, Cash? How are you looking? Did you like drop your side of the stretcher that as we were carrying this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was I helping carry something at the moment?
I think so.
Totally.
I think you and I were carrying it into the storeroom. Maybe.
I like. Everything shut up!
And actually, a hairline crack forms in it. And it seems like as if it's trying to like re-stitch itself, but then it continually like keeps re-cracking back and forth. It doesn't.
It's gonna.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just story shit.
Just pizzazz.
Just some fluffs. Maybe no. We'll see. Maybe something more will come of it.
Yeah.
It cracks open. There's a genie in
that
it.
crack.
But it's a digital genie because
It's gonna be plot amount lower.
Yeah.
Price that we'll get from it now.
Yeah. Plot fortune -1.
Minus plot.
Yeah.
Wait, plot fortune minus plot is just fortune.
Excellent.
Also, I vomit up all the space crackers.
No.
Gross.
Somehow they come up whole again because they reformed in your stomach.
Yeah, they're space crackers, so they just like.
Ew.
Yeah, Orion's just trying to drag this thing into the closet as quickly as he can in kind of the in the chaos. Oh, not 20!
One-
Yeah,
just
so
one
he
hand.
just picks it up. He throws it up onto his shoulder and just hauls this thing into the storeroom, right?
I regret trying to like.
Does the pressure of his hold
One
fix
over.
the crack?
Yeah, or did it ever fall? Or did I catch it with my nat 20?
Oh.
Yeah, you caught it.
It dipped down, but you were like, I got it.
Strangely looked like catching a woman in the dance move.
I was already there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bobert watching its eyes.
Bobert, that basically is
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like a metaphor for it.
Yeah, it changes into an image of Prisma as I'm holding her.
That's the reality.
That's the determination. That's Orion's never say die determination. He can't let this thing fall.
That's your PTSD.
Oh, wait. They could be the same.
This is really epic for basically just like catching and
Catching a rock. Yeah.
Not funny.
It ought to be epic.
That's right. 5% of the time.
Are they all right? Are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So were we all headed towards the storage room?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was.
Patsy
we have-
bursts into the theater.
Barker! Where are they?
Barker was actually like standing.
You passed
them?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Turn around.
Sorry.
Barker! Where are they?
Barker's actually standing on the walking wagon thing and is like shouting, and he's like kind of like laughing up a storm because it's like walking aimlessly around.
But I'm
And he's,
real
like, trying
harsh
to get
when
it
I
to-
say it.
And he's like, oh, I don't know. You would know better than I. They haven't left as far as I
run
know.
up and I grab him from the go. Where are they?
His brilliant green eyes stare back at you. And I think they're still in the theater.
Oh, and I like shove him off the thing. And
He of course
Useless.
He of course collapses into an oncoming coffee
Oh,
merchant
no.
cart. And spills coffee everywhere. Yeah.
It was fruit. It's like that.
Yeah, a fruit
obligated
stand.
fruit
Yeah.
stand.
Fruit cart, yeah.
cabbages!
Yes.
So I'm sprinting through the theater trying to find anybody, tracks of them. Where are they?
We're like shuffling into a storeroom off to the side
Yeah.
of the main
Not hard to
hall or
find.
something.
Do I see them?
No.
You see me with this whole like crystal on my shoulder, and I'm just like huffing it into this room.
I'm like,
Even you're impressed.
oh yeah. So I like kind of regain my composure after seeing this ridiculous thing because we couldn't even lift this thing off the thing with a pry bar, and he's fucking carrying this shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
You didn't give him proper motivation.
So I run into the storeroom and slam the door behind him because you're in there, right? Oh, obviously y'all are like all over the floor and shit. But I'm like, we have a problem.
I'm okay, guys. Thanks for
Sit
checking
down,
on me.
Yeah.
I checked already.
Yeah, there's like blood trickling out of you guys' ears.
Is it the
Getting
Cabal?
attended to.
Yeah.
You get the Q-tip to get some the like weird way that like blood like in your nose or your ears like coagulates and is like a thread.
Ew.
Oh, that's cool.
Gross.
That was for the stream. Thanks for watching, viewers.
Like,
Here to
comment,
gross
and
you out.
subscribe. And be sure to join the notification squad.
What is it?
Someone who's been following me for a while. They may even know my identity.
Following you?
Yes. Not, they don't, they just have good information. Unfortunately, they know about you and I, and they know that you're here.
It was Arlong, wasn't it?
Oh my god.
Shit.
We gotta get out of town.
I don't think we should leave. I think I think there's an opportunity here, but you're gonna have to trust me.
The word
Everyone's asking me to trust them today.
just search.
There it is.
Yeah.
So where did our lives?
You know that I would not let any harm come to you. You realize that.
What's this all about?
There's no getting out of this, though. They're gonna be here tonight at the theater, and they expect you here.
No getting out of this.
What do you want to do about it? If we flee now, they know that I'm on your side. We have no in. We're blind. There's one of two things I think we can do. We find a way to kill.
Turn this music up. I think this is like poignant music right now.
We either
I don't have music. Okay. Good enough.
Oh,
I
never
don't think
mind.
the
I thought
music
it
was
was
actually queued.
I thought it was maybe it's some from another room, but
But we can cue it up because it's cool.
Yeah,
thought it was like.
song is perfect. I think.
it's
I'm
either,
always hearing like. What?
Yes, continue.
It's either that we kill the Cabal of Hunger, Cabalist of Hunger, or you get caught. And we...
You guys have no idea what they're talking
Yeah.
Like, Kabbalist.
Do I know who
I'm
Hunger
literally
is?
Not
taking.
there.
I mean, I'm taking notes. I don't know about you. Mental notes.
You don't know his true identity, but you know, you interacted with him in Shalamas, yeah.
Yeah, what sort of a person is he, or what was his role?
He was subservient to your master, Kabbalist Desire, or the Kappa.
Can't think of what I named him. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he was kind of one of his, not his enforcers, but he was a string puller. Like, he's pretty well respected in the Cabal and of a similar rank as Daniel's character.
Okay. And what like, I mean, is he dangerous, or does he just wield power?
He's cunning, and he's definitely very wealthy. It's not known like what he is outside of the Cabal, but he's always.
I mean, I know how to
well-dressed.
size a man up. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, every time you've met with him, you know, you guys were all wearing your masks, but he was wearing like silks and you know, very fancy clothes, and had, you know, Numenera gadgets and whatnot on him. So, and he's always been a cunning negotiator, and yeah.
It's either we
Though Daniel had the upper
kill
hand.
the Cabalist of Hunger, or tonight, or you get caught and you trust us to save you. Because I know where he's taking you.
There's some appropriately epic music.
And where would he be taking me?
To the
To
Charmand?
no, to your the Kabbalist of Desire, the
Shalamas?
yeah. He specifically wants him back. Yeah.
There will be.
I don't want to go back to Shalamas.
I don't want you to go there either, obviously, but I don't know what to do.
Well, then I guess we need to kill a Kabbalist.
I will say,
Where's the hype? Oh!
Silent hype to not break the moment.
there may be more in it for us if we take the gamble.
The gamble of me being captured and taking to Shalamas?
I'm putting it out there. It's up to you.
What more could be gained?
Knowledge of the head of the Cabalist.
Is the head of the Cabal in Charmand or Shalamas?
The head of the whole Cabal. It's not really known.
Okay, and the character from my backstory is still alive?
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily intending that, but that's cool.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If
I was thinking that he
he's
would
still
be, yeah, and then
alive,
he's
yeah.
and then he's like hunting you down,
Okay.
because of you stealing the stuff from him, and he's got a grudge, and you also know a lot of stuff about him that shouldn't be known because you were like his guardian. So yeah, I was thinking that that he'd
That's
be hunting
fine.
you down, but the Cabal's headquarters is in Charmand.
and
So-
that's where I think that Prisma has been sent, is to Charmand, not to Shalamas. I can't move backwards. I can't let us move backwards.
I understand.
Shalamas is in the past. So we make our stand here in the theater.
He will bring others.
So be it.
Friends, I can't help but overhear your very private conversation.
You had to open a door to get in here.
I was in there.
Was that your intention to shut the door with just the two of you
I thought
inside?
I'm sorry. I thought
I
that
thought
he
we were
carried
all
the
in
thing
there.
into the storage room by himself.
Oh, you did
Yeah.
it by yourself? Okay. Never mind.
You fell to the
I'm-
ground
Then
and-
I'm out outside, and then
Okay.
I back over.
We're
That
getting.
never happened.
I mean, we probably hear muffled raised voices.
That did take a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can I
It could be
roll
as
to
long
have
as
been
it
like
takes
trying to
you to
overhear the
figure it out.
conversation?
Or to just like walk in at any point, certainly, yeah.
I mean,
if you want to go walk in, I would would persuade you to maybe not do that.
Okay. That's fine. I don't know, I had an idea. Maybe I'll just talk
So
to
they know
myself.
about me, they know about you, they don't know about our friends.
I don't know if they know who I am. The meeting was Kabbalist of sorts. And they certainly have some information on our friends. So,
So they do know about them.
they watched us leave the Jade Colossus.
Shit.
Stop eating my crackers.
The cataract strikes.
Listen to me now. We can run forever. It's true. But if you ever want to stop running, eventually we'll have to deal with it. Information on the head would be extremely valuable. I believe. I have it in my gut. I know. He knows something. And he's been willing to trade me for you. Trade the information for your whereabouts. But it is up to you. We can get out of here tonight if you don't feel comfortable.
What?
I would be like, you know what? Actually, it's been long enough. Cash, do whatever you want.
Friends. So, I couldn't help but hearing your very not so private.
I just like put up my hand and I'm like, I can't go back.
Then we won't. Then we kill the Cabal of Hunger tonight.
But I have a proposition for you that might help solve your problem. The issue is clearly that there's some supposed distrust and loyalty of I don't know, I didn't hear the whole thing, but it appears like there's some mutual friends of yours that believe you're no longer in their circle, or don't trust them, or don't trust you anymore.
This is true.
What if we were to put on a show when they show up? Make them think as though you're still on their side. Maybe fake your death. I don't know.
I don't know if I follow. I tortured one of the heads of the Cabal of Whispers and stole from him. I don't think there's any getting back on their good side or making them think that I'm on their side at this point.
It's not necessarily like getting back on their side. It's making them believe that you're dead, and they will stop their search.
Okay.
They won't be running after you, particularly if they think you're dead.
Okay, I'm following.
They saw that we were, walking around as friends, right? I was there for that part. At least I heard that, as I was eavesdropping, because I can't help but do that.
So many eavesdroppers on friends.
I was literally right outside this shit. I can't help but hear it. All I'm saying, and you don't have to go with me on this, I'm just throwing this out there as a suggestion. When they show up, we make them believe that, we just barely know each other. We get into a conflict while they happen to be there. And we put on a show. We fight you, and someone happens to win. They may not pursue their search if they believe that it's pretty convincing. I don't know. It's up to you. It's if you want to
So I know the kappa that is hunting me down.
and you don't have to
He
take this.
he probably would want like my head, right? He would want me
wants
there.
you alive.
He wants me alive.
Yeah.
Oh man. I was gonna say I could totally throw some hedge magic in there on like a bag or something, make them think it was your head, and that might buy us some time before they realize they've been had and pursue you again. That would give us enough time.
I just have too many directions, and everybody's asking me which way to go right now.
It would at least.
This is your character arc right now.
Yeah, I know, but it's four different directions. It's like either go take this battery to the city, or like be carried along to the city that I have escaped from in hopes that we'll get more information, or fight them in this place, or like fake my death in this place and hope that they buy that.
I think all of them are good opportunities. And I look forward to seeing any and everything happen.
What will Orion choose?
But that's it.
I think Orion chooses to face it head on, that we need to like fight them here and now, and we need to, if we know that they're coming, then we set up against them. They don't know that you're gonna fight against them, do they? So we have that advantage. They know about all of us, and they know about me, but they don't know about Patsy turning against them.
We'd lead them into a trap.
And we'd need to make sure that all of them are silenced, because we can't let them know that you're working against the Cabal.
I feel like that reaffirms like your character. It's like you don't try to do anything shifty or anything. You're just gonna face it like head on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe not.
Yeah. In
Shows
this
your
case, at
badassery.
least. I just don't feel comfortable about going back to Shalamas.
I understand. Then we need a plan.
They're showing up tonight during the play.
They expect you here.
They expect me here watching the play.
No, just at the theater. I imagine they'll contact me prior to their arrival.
You guys hear this sweet siren song of Aster playing, and you recognize that it's like really pretty sad for Aster's music typically.
Well, do we have some ciphers or something that we can use to try to set up in advance to help us?
That's these things, right?
Okay.
Well, I have a strength boost in case anybody needs it.
Nice. I have explosive poison, so I can turn someone into a bomb.
Let's walk them into a trap then.
Have you guys where are you guys at right now?
I imagined Patsy shut he and Orion in the shed where we're storing the moons.
Midnight Stone.
Midnight Stone. I
Yeah,
can't-
for the
I can't
life
figure out
of me.
either.
The Midnight Stone. And that means the three of us were out in the grounds between the theater and the shed.
Okay. Well, I was literally
Oh, I
right
thought the
next to
storage
shed.
room was in the theater.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like in the behind the stage.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's right there. We'll say that's our room.
Perfect.
You guys want to place our miniatures?
There we go. Look at us with this resplendent table of
I know.
terrain, and we're here trying
We're
to
like-
theater of the mind.
Was it right
Yeah,
here?
this
So
room
in
is
that
the
case,
one
then
that
we were like
I was
in
here.
the hall.
I was here, I think, at the time when it dropped and we hauled it in there.
-1.
Hey, Keith's like -3 right now. It just I've been watching
saying.
terrain.
So as I see the intensity in Orion's eyes as he makes the decision,
Too.
I look at him and I step up and I say, "You realize that I won't be able to initially go with you. With this, I can't disappear after this night. If we pull this off tonight, you're gonna have to trust these people for some time."
To disappear away to
Because I can't just disappear after
Yeah.
this person dies and they knew I was helping. I'll have to meet up with you later.
Are you okay with that?
I worry about you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So we do some sort of Thieves Guild shake. And it's epic.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey Arnold.
All right. So what's the plan?
What the hell do you mean you're telling us like half the story? This is on you. I will tell you what I have. You know my skills from our travels in the Colossus, but you just have to tell us where to. You point, I'll shoot.
Let's walk them into a room where that explosive poison is.
I have to administer it.
What?
So like a syringe? Or?
Yes, you can either. Is this the symbol for out of character?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the out of character symbol.
Alright,
In case you're wondering.
Got it.
And if you guys are speaking to each other with your
ingestible-
brains, you could do this thing if you want. Yeah.
Ingestible or injectable liquid. So either syringe it or
How
like
long
a
does it
drink?
take to last?
drink. What?
How long does it take to last until it?
There are
explodes?
different triggers.
Can you trigger it yourself?
I know it's a D100. Of what triggers it?
What?
As in, like you don't currently
yeah,
know, or you roll now and then you'll know.
No, yeah, you roll after it's administered.
To see what happens, it's a random.
Yes, but what's random is what causes detonation.
Weird. What a weird cipher.
Like what
Like
are some
on
of the options?
a 1 through 25, it's activated instantaneously. 26 through 40, time passes and then it detonates. 41 through 50, the victim takes a specific action and that's the trigger.
Okay, let's have a roll for
Weird.
this so that we know beforehand what it does, right? And we want you at home to roll
Oh,
for this.
yeah.
You guys ready? I'm gonna do a raffle.
Get Kirby or Kitty on this because they're here.
Hey,
I'm
girl.
gonna do a raffle in the chat, and I want you guys to do !join to join the raffle. The winner of this raffle will get to roll for the D100 for the random dice. You guys ready? You'll see commands in the chat. !join, guys.
Sorry to bring this on you.
Oh
so
yeah, first void
at such a late hour. We were so close.
What happened with the... We just started moving on past everything glowing and sirens going off. My ears bleeding. It has
I
happened.
moved on.
Great question.
I butted right into a private conversation.
What did happen?
I feel like that'll one thing at a time.
This whole plan's going to hell.
What would you expect carrying this thing around?
I said boat. Kind of. I voted for a boat. Lord, there we go. Why are you looking at me like that?
If you had just told us who this boat was going to, maybe we would have got on it.
Everybody's staring at me like, what did I say this time? I'm supposed to be talking out of turtle.
Honestly, I'm trying to remember
All right, excellent.
how much of that, like, you said, let's get a boat, and that's all.
That's all anyone else knows.
Everybody
I said,
except
hey,
Let's get a boat.
We got a
Make some
40.
extra money.
We got a 47 from
I
Void
said
Effigy.
Oh.
The treasure raffle.
Thank
47.
you, Void Effigy.
So that's after some
The
time.
victim takes a specific action, and that triggers it.
Yeah. So are we saying we know this now?
Yes, you know this now.
Okay.
And the specific action, that's tricky, huh? What is the specific action? We'll say
They move.
moves. Yeah.
They blink.
Oh, I wanted them to say like a code.
They
phrase.
take like 5 steps.
Exactly 5 steps. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Kill Bill. What is it? The 7 step? I don't remember what
Yeah.
it was.
Could not make
5
it past
point.
the opening.
It's raining outside.
But to answer your question, all I mentioned is that I happen to have a very high-profile contact that would pay us very well for.
Is this?
Reward us handsomely
Okay.
for
like basically exchanging for this giant midnight stone block slab thing. I'm going to tell him who this contact was.
He gave me more information on it.
And I told everybody, like, basically, like, the kingdom we would be going to, that's it.
All right.
Is it not useful to be where we're not expected to be?
Void Effigy, thanks for the follow. And for winning our first ever treasure raffle. Congratulations.
Jade.
Well, I have to be here, and Patsy will be expected to be here, but the rest of you...
You don't have to help us with this if you don't want to.
Well, when you say expected to be here, you mean...
The Cabal expects me to be here.
So why can you not be here?
Because then I will also be an enemy of the Cabal.
You have agreed.
Yeah, I think that
have Orion here for them.
Indeed.
Yeah,
That was
they'll know
promised.
he tipped him off if he's not here. So it puts him in danger. But we don't know that. Or at least I don't think we do.
Well, I just pieced that together in character. No fingers crossed.
Bobert's not been about. Did not come over to the doorway.
Bobert!
Just hanging out by the stage.
Not even
I
involved.
understand exactly why. It's because Bobert's soul is pure gold, and it doesn't matter because of what we've already been through. Bobert's going to help you all no matter what.
Exactly.
That's a load of crock.
It's
You heard it here first!
What about you?
Bobert's life. Someone mentioned we were seen with Orion leaving the Jade Colossus.
Indeed.
My head's on the plate as well.
It will be.
Well then, what choice do I have?
You have none.
Quite plainly.
Very Patsy looking.
That's classic Styles for you.
And you, your choice.
Oh, I already made my choice as soon as I walked in and tried to make a suggestion. I'm down.
I'm down.
I'm down.
Gosh,
I'm good.
Bobert, I know you're out there.
Just listening to the music, Patsy.
Okay, so after we make this stand, then what? Do we take the stone to a boat? Into the sea?
Unfortunately, I think that's the best bet we got. I say we trust him.
Thank you. Thank you. As we all know.
And you'll remain here, Patsy?
Trust.
In Ballarat?
I'll catch up with you later.
Thank God. I'm so tired of this
All right,
guy.
I want to. We should make some arrangements to get like a cart outside.
Yeah, we gotta be ready to bounce.
So we have to spend the day getting arrangements for the boat, getting arrangements for the stones to the boat.
A
We have
cart
to
parked outside.
Do I'm trying to think of a movie that's all about a heist.
Just,
Ocean's 11.
No, not Ocean's 11.
The Ballarat job.
Yeah,
Red Food and Paul Newman. Steam.
yeah, Steam.
Valorant job.
All right, so this
Okay,
the movie that plays right now is
the montage.
Yeah.
The montage of you guys of doing that thing.
Do you want us to make some rules for like overall success in that, or
No, that stuff's
good?
easy. Yeah, the difficulty
know.
is 0, so you don't have to roll.
Okay.
But interesting things that happen during that time, as you guys are standing at the port, at the dock. We're haggling with a one who plies the river, right? Excellent port music, yes.
Nice.
We hear the ring of the blacksmith on the anvil, and while you guys are negotiating, a strange crowd approaches of people who are all shouting and cursing, and you get the impression that someone is being publicly shamed.
Oh no!
Ooh, I actually have an angry crowd.
Yes, exquisite.
Bring it.
A figure.
This is so good.
sounds like this.
Oh, we should mention too, Sirenscapes, right? We need to mention it.
Yes, Sirenscape, everyone, check it out. We just got a new subscription and we're loving it. And there's a link on our channel page, but that is supplying all of the music, and it is pretty exquisite application. So check it out for your own GM gaming tables. words to speak in is. Yes, so a person is at the forefront being shamed, and the Bobert, you recognize this person immediately. This is,
Of course, Bobert recognizes this.
though you don't quite remember why. Much of your past memories are a bit of a blur, but this, you just know the name. The name pops into your head.
Oh no, if I know the name, it's over.
Daika, D-A-I-C-A. And you know that this is, she is a high-ranking official in the Jade Protectors. She is a bit of a prophet of a kind, and it was believed that she had a connection with the Eye of the Colossus. Rumor had it within the Jade Protectors that she had peered into it.
Beeline to the head of the crowd.
And
I'm gonna try to get to Daika.
You see that this seems pretty chaotic, and that there are just a lot of people who are like throwing tomatoes and cabbages and whatever space fruits and vegetables, any weird vegetables that are had
If this
in the
was
ninth
Star
world.
Trek, it would be like a spray painted persimmon.
Yeah.
Styrofoam persimmon?
Yes, it's been made silver. But as you get closer, you see that there is a bit of organization to it. That there are two, the equivalent of guards for the Jade Protectors that are standing next to her and overseeing this. Right, they're the ones like leading her through the streets, and all these people who joined in are just kind of civilians.
Well, yeah,
This conversation.
I'm gonna try to push my way through the crowd to get close. I trust that a guard will try to throw me off if I get too close, but if I get close enough to a guard to kind of like hold on to them while they're like, I'm pushing you away, and I'm like, I'm not totally fighting you, but I might in a second to try to call out to Daika and see if she'll respond. Daika, what's going on?
She looks up. So she usually has a strange mask on her face, though it's been taken off, and her eyes are. That's what she usually looks like, but this mask has been broken off.
Oh.
This was your aunt in the other campaign, Josh.
Yeah. Thought I recognized that.
Oh, Aunt Daika!
I love it.
Oh, everybody knows her.
The mask has been taken away, and her eyes are cloudy and cataracted. And so she's kind of just looking aimlessly in your direction as you call out her name.
We don't need sight.
And among the chants of people, you're getting this, everyone who's watching is getting this sense that they're like, you know, the prophet's blind, the prophet is no longer sees, you know, something like that, along those lines, and the Jade Protector Guardians are kind of nodding, like as if this chant has been announced at some point, and the crowd has all kind of taken it up and are all just. And she provided services in the past of prophecies.
So they should be protecting her, but they're not.
Mm-hmm. She would be giving them orders normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that crazy moment just happened. People are.
Also, we turned
People
the
are
eye
pissed.
off. Yeah, Joe immediately assumes, based off of the technology that we've seen, that we disrupted a connection. And probably would actually have a panic moment. Yeah.
GM intrusion. As you're peering and making assumptions. her eyes drift towards you. Oh, too many things over here. The jingle of coins. And you can give one of those to another player. It's an XP. And stares directly at you, and you get the impression almost as if she's seeing you, and she says, "You blinded me! The eye! I can see nothing anymore! The eye's been blinded!"
It's just a Joe looks bewildered.
Oh, Bobert is experiencing the most visceral, like, literal keyword rides the lightning shock right now. In fact, the guard probably will want to let go of me, and I'll probably want to let go of the guard, because I'm like...
The guard actually, as you shock, steps back and looks at you,
Orion,
and you see a
going through some shit.
look of recognition
That's so cool.
on his face, and actually like goes pale for a second and says, "Bobber."
Why do you got Dyka like this? This isn't right. She's a respected member of your community. You're hauling her through the streets, letting people throw things at her.
Sir, Bobert, sir.
What are you talking about?
He looks just utterly confused, and then says, "I thought you were dead."
I have no idea what you're talking about, but there's a woman getting all kinds of trash thrown at her right now. This is no decent way to treat another human being.
This is by orders of Quran. I believe you would understand. You know the name. It's the leader of the Jade. The Jade
Yeah, it's
Protectors.
like Quran. Who's Quran? Quran.
Yeah, Quran.
Sounds like Quran's looking for a scapegoat to me.
All right, Bobert wants to address the crowd.
Yeah,
He's gonna try to like position himself between Dyka and the crowd.
Oh my god, hilarious.
Shit. Do you want aid in public speaking?
I can't say
Maybe a couple of
anything about
bouncers
that.
to like intimidate the crowd and he'll
That's up to Patsy. I feel like Patsy would not be drawing attention to himself right now.
Yeah, actually not.
We just gotta rely on passion. Speaking
And
of which, we've got a fire inside.
Yes.
Right now, we were...
We were trying to get a boat.
Okay, okay.
Is there like a place for public shit? You know, like a
pulpit or something.
yeah, like a scaffold where they're gonna bring this person.
No,
up to
it's
be
typically
shamed?
like
It's
a
just like
parade
a walk
through the street.
streets.
Yeah, it's the Walk of Shame.
This is that Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Shame. Shame.
Shame.
Okay,
Shame. There's more clothes.
We went to those steps in Semester at Sea, and a student fell off of them.
What, where they shot that scene?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold up, wait, you.
Of course a student fell off.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you teach at Watkins, right?
Yes, but this is something different.
I'm gonna have to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I have a class starting next week called Raising the Stakes for you storytellers in Nashville that are viewing.
Yeah.
Just
all those
unlikely.
storytellers in Nashville.
Is it about how to write a competent vampire flick?
It could be.
Raising the stakes.
I see. Raising
Somebody
them
was earlier,
and then lowering
but
them repeatedly.
I don't know if Keith adjusted it or...
Okay.
Somebody had mentioned the sound, but then nobody else mentioned it, so maybe it's improved.
All right, what are you doing?
all right. Positioning body between, I guess they're kind of all around, but just like maybe sheltering back to back. I am going to use 2 tiers of effort. This is an intellect roll?
Yeah.
Okay. It's hurting Bobert right now. Bobert is pushing himself to the edges of his mental capacity.
Yes.
And Fire Inside moves the difficulty of the task down 1 if it's related to my passion.
Cool. Excellent.
What is it?
So it'll be eased 3 steps,
Okay.
right? And you're not trained.
What
in
a
this.
I am
day.
not.
so passionate.
Where is the gravity well?
Gosh, I need a
You don't have to move it over here. I just want to make an eyes at you.
There it is. Look at that poor fountain.
All right.
The mob.
That could be
took it
your
down.
action. You're just pressed.
Thirst.
Yeah, I don't know if I have enough time before the show tonight.
I did use that, didn't I?
Because I'm down to my 10 hours.
Oh.
Bless the gravity well.
People of Ballarat, is this what you are? You're reduced to following a defenseless woman in the streets, throwing things at her just because her gifts have changed? She doesn't have the sight anymore, but have you listened to what she has to say?
The people look around in confusion, and one person says,
No.
"No, I thought we were supposed to shame her."
You don't have to accept anyone's orders to tell you to feel or do anything. You are your own person with your own truth who writes your own story.
People are starting to disperse, and someone was like, I just had a lot of extra rotten fruit to throw. But you can tell everybody's dispersing, and they're like, I don't know what to feel about this. I feel confused, right? There's a lot of murmuring, and the guards are trying to get it back together, right? They're like, no, she's on a walk of shame, but people are like, I feel bad, like I feel bad for her, right?
Nice, Bobert.
They were
And
supposed to
well
yell
done.
back at me.
Well done.
And others hear kind of a murmuring through the crowd of people dispersing, of people saying, is that Sir Bobert?
What the fuck?
I knew it.
What is?
Sir Bobert.
I knew it.
Who is this person?
They're like, it seems awfully
Like,
uncharacteristic of him. And then another says, I thought he was dead.
and I'll turn to Daika and see. I know that she's capable of speech because she said a prophetic ass sounding thing and looked straight at one of my companions. What do you have to say, Daika? When did this happen? How long has it been like this? I have a guess, actually.
It was around the time that you guys blinded
Yeah,
the eye.
exactly. Yeah, Bobert would say, actually, I have a guess.
12 hours or whatever it was, yeah. She says, I am no longer what I was. I don't know that I should be shamed, but I should no longer be a part of the Jade Protectors.
Why are they blaming this on you? Why is it your fault that you lost the sight?
I lost my sight, and shortly after that terrible sound. So they fear that it was my fault.
I can tell you for certain that it wasn't.
Do you? Tell us more. No.
I might know a little bit about how the eye stopped seeing.
I've been cursed in the by the mouth of the Jade Colossus.
You've not been cursed, you're just a unexpected.
My God has disowned me.
Well, Daika, if that's the story you want to tell, I can't stop you.
She just it is the truth. I have
I was
known
supposed to say it was non-roll.
Orion doesn't feel bad at all for this woman.
He's just like a load of
Hard
crazy.
years of bullshit. He just doesn't have it in him.
No, man, eye on the prize.
Bobert's very torn about something.
It's totally reasonable to be torn about it. I just know that my character doesn't.
Oh no, it's not about the ethics. It's about whether or not to ask a question. I'm gonna do evens and odds.
Should we have people at roll? All right, audience. We're gonna do a treasure raffle again, even though it's not.
We could do evens or odds or 50-50.
Does
whatever.
Bobber?
Milo.
Who wants to roll to decide yes or no? Type exclamation point join to enter the raffle. And the chance to win 20 hero points. Which is a lot. You get a hero point for every 10 minutes of watching.
What? I want 20 hero points. That's amazing.
everyone should roll.
45 seconds.
Oh man,
Who else is in
Kitty and
here?
Hoodie's in a lead.
Join, guys. Join.
What an amazing opportunity! Oh my
Be
god!
Bobert's conscious.
Yes. Make the decision.
This is your moment.
This is it. This is the chance to shine.
You can do it!
Get
You can do
Void
it!
Effigy in on it. Who else is here?
Yeah.
Go on in.
Don't fail me now.
Do it.
15 seconds.
I
Do
should
it.
be like the kids at Ewok who are like 15. Like, it was 15 when it said 15, and now it's like 12.
Do it.
Oh, I feel like Kitty and Hoodie's gonna kill it.
Excellent.
Danielle, don't ruin this for Jane.
Props on all cannibals. I like
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to roll a D100. You could do a D6 if you want, but we'll do high. Oh, I guess we should have. Whoa! Whoa!
But the problem was, did we decide what?
No.
It doesn't matter. She rolled 100.
Yes.
Do you want it to be yes or no?
It's up to Kitty. You get to
Is
decide.
it 100 yes or no?
Does Bobert say yes or does Bobert say
Your
no
decision.
to asking his question?
Does Bobert get the party in trouble? Is asking the question going to get us in trouble
I don't
potentially?
think so.
But leaving it alone would be the safe bet. Kitty, it's up to Kitty.
What do you think, Kitty?
Do we need to type instructions for Kitty?
No.
Okay.
This is just you can just respond by
Oh, I
telling
was-
us what you think.
Do it!
Do it.
Do it!
Decker, how do I know you?
How do you know me?
I knew your name. I recognized your face. But I have no idea who you are.
You were my enforcer for many years. Do you not recognize me?
I do recognize you, but I don't know you.
Where did you go, Bobber? You've been gone for so long.
How long have I been gone?
Years? 3 years? 4 years? I don't know. That depends on your backstory.
Bobert does some quick mental math. Okay. And what happened to me before I was gone?
Last we heard of you, you had gone into the Jade Colossus with a group of the Jade Protectors
Any of them
in search of
back?
a relic, in search of the hand of the Colossus, perhaps following rumors that had been that you had tortured out of a inheritor of the Colossus.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, okay, Bobert sits down on the ground. Like, hilarious!
Sir Bob Baratheon is not so squeaky clean after all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobert's paralyzed. Bobert can't speak or do anything right now.
Jill
just eating
comes up and
crackers
puts
and
a hand
sesame
on
oil.
Bob's shoulder. Bobby, we have to go.
Bobert, I guess we
Yes. With your extra dimensional chair, one leg up on your extra dimensional chair.
coming with you.
Let's get this boat procured.
I feel like I'm Kenny from like The Walking Dead. We gotta get a boat. See if I played that.
I'm gonna be holding
Getting
on
out.
to you, like I'm just grasping your
There's-
forearm, like it's the only thing keeping me in this reality.
I love this kind of information. Patsy's very pleased.
Patsy, fuck you.
Son of a bitch. All right.
In the years since you have
I know what I've done in the years since I've been gone.
there have been many who've gone into the Jade Colossus and returned, changed, myself included.
Well, guess when we find ourselves in this kind of position, we're getting to decide just what exactly that change does. I think I've got a good idea of what I want to do with mine. Hope you think long and hard about yours, Daikon.
I don't know. what to think about this. The guards are looking like a little restless and are kind of like yanking her chain and trying to get the shame train going again. But a little half-heartedly.
Damn.
The shame train.
Shame train.
Shame on, guys! Shame on!
Alright, I'll see you, Daika.
No, Daika won't
It's good to
see
hear
you.
your voice again, Bobert. It has been too
It's
long.
blind.
Blind.
Yeah, that was ableist on accident. I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah.
Rude, Bobber.
And you blinded her.
Yes. Well,
Ain't so squeaky clean.
Passion comes with a price.
Yep. I guess it happens. All right.
Okay, I'm walking off to buy a boat.
Yep.
Like,
Scene. And you guys procure a boat.
So heavy over there.
Sweet. We got some boat.
We got a boat, guys.
And I think
What happened? What was going on?
I think this should be for those at home when this happens.
Whoa! What was that?
Just a card. These are like my scenes. That one's done. That scene's done.
I love it.
I just want to know what it is that's being torn up before it gets.
Oh. There's something about Jade.
yeah,
Protector,
it was the
priest.
scene that just happened.
Yeah, it was literally the scene that.
Gotcha.
Here, you can see this
That
part.
scene's done.
Yeah.
Also,
In scene.
Bobert's past life revealed.
I knew it. Knew it.
I don't know about
Yeah.
this past life.
Also, question marks.
Totally happened.
Oh,
I decided on that over that
Did you?
because I thought
did you
that would be
Oh.
less fun.
So did you speak with him
Like
prior?
No,
about that?
that
No,
was
I'm sorry.
all new to
I
me
just-
and new
I
to
just schlepped
it was
that one
great.
upon.
Well, I wanted it to
This
be
week,
like that
it's gonna
because
look
that
like this.
is what it would be like for Bobert.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. Did you prior arrange that you would like get to like randomly?
It's not known to the group, but Bobert
Sometimes you just
got
gotta
lost
come.
into Jade Colossus and emerged without memory of. And I think we had decided that Aster had actually saved you, right? And
And we returned the favor.
maybe you guys didn't necessarily like know each other that well before that, but she rescued you and then like nursed you back to health, and then was like, people here in the town are kind of weird about you, so maybe you should go somewhere else.
And
Yeah.
we were pen pals.
Yeah.
And I came back because she was missing.
I think a little bit more than Pinto.
What did you say?
I said excellent.
What did you say? I don't know.
That was Daniel, not Patsy.
I know, and I totally reacted like I was talking to Patsy. I knew that Daniel said it, but it was me to Patsy.
Also, I will say that
on that
that Daika reaches out and takes your hand and nestles an object in it, and it is a cipher.
Yeah, I got you, girl.
And let's have the audience roll for it. Since we're just we're just doing it.
Roll.
Kitty, here's your chance. You can do it
This
again.
is actually a treasure roll, so
Treasure roll.
Kitty.
Train.
I'm a little cannibal. Get in on this. Void effigy.
Come on. We know you're there.
Believe in you.
but we can do it.
There it
We
is.
can move on. We don't have to.
Shame. Sorry.
What? Well,
It's so catchy.
You got the
Cipher thing, yeah.
She's blind. That was so rude, Bob.
I'll be seeing you. She never saw that coming.
in fairness, Bobert can still see her anytime. She just can't see Bobert back, and she
As she wails in deep
appropriately acted
terror,
well.
like,
Now a broken
Say
woman.
these. Two were just standing by watching someone get publicly shamed without batting an eyelash. You had to tell me my word choice was
I
on.
wasn't
Ain't my problem.
Ate my
I was
monkey.
lighting my cigar. I was doing.
Congrats, Kitty in a hoodie.
Rolled it.
On
If you roll 100 again,
Yeah,
you
give
get
us-
extra stuff.
Yeah, give us a percentile with D100.
He has no authority to follow.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
We'll give you a what?
I'll give you an autographed picture of Patsy.
Patsy points. You get Patsy points.
53. Patsy points will not be awarded. That's less than a D100.
A 53 is a deactivator.
Well, wait. How do you?
I feel like that's
Okay,
Dean
turn
Patrick
something off.
figure
Turn off a
out.
cipher.
Yeah, it's like all or absolutely nothing.
Are they like raffle tickets? Can you like turn them in for like a stuffed animal or something?
I think it's more like Patsy just smiles at you or like gives you the time of day.
Yep, you can deactivate one device
you
with
can-
a
I'm very
short
much
range.
trying to seek like Patsy's approval.
That would be cool to turn off somebody else.
That's now like a character trait.
It's so hard to do.
I keep like trying to like barge you and like, I want to be your friend,
I'm
man.
interested in that.
Let me in on it.
I have this distance
You're like, don't wanna
activator
be
right now,
involved.
which is kind of the
Listen,
opposite, where you can like
promise
you can trigger something from a distance, but I don't have a use for that.
Deactivator
For Patsy points.
from the Cypher collection, but specifically from Kitty in a Hoodie. Thank you,
Thank
Kitty
you,
in a Hoodie.
Kitty in a Hoodie. Patsy points.
Yeah,
Who wants it?
Not
I
awarded.
guess.
Is that cool? Or is that it was given to you?
It was given to me, but I will walk over and
No
give it to
dice.
you.
Okay.
You're like, here, you take this. I don't want
Yeah, well,
It
I think I
deactivates
would be
what?
like, I don't think I need
a device.
Anything?
Like you can use
A
this
cipher.
more
Yeah.
than I can.
Wait, you can just turn off anything?
Yeah.
It's like a dispel magic in D&D.
Ryan's gonna use it to turn the lights off. Calling it.
Yeah. And he uses it like the clapper.
But it's because it's like the one moment you really need the lights off.
It's true. As is for most people.
Yeah, I would say that that's pretty much the purpose of life, is to gain approval from Patsy.
We all just really want approval from Patsy.
Which is
Even
why...
the GM sees approval.
Alright, so are there ways to gain back points aside from resting? Because Orion is still ultimately beat to
pretty-
shit right now. And we're getting ready to go into this fight, and I'm just now realizing that I only have a 10-hour rest, so
Same.
are there like
I have an hour
potions
and a
or, like,
I think there is I think you could do some kind of roll, if I recall
a
correctly.
force- a
like
forced
there's
rest?
healing, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's a
I'm actually going to take my 1 hour. This is a good time to take a 1 hour, right? Can I do that?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
Oh! 1. Excellent. My favorite.
That one is gonna be the time you need it. I also want to take
It's alright. In most fights, I don't do a whole lot.
I also would
so-
like to roll. Can I roll to get some more points? Because I'm not feeling. I'm probably
Here, don't use that die. That one matches your 20. Oh. I'm sorry, I should let you
-1.
Minus 3. Okay, well, you got 2 points.
You should have rolled near the gravity well. Let's be honest.
That's on me. That's on Cash. That's on
You
Cash.
can't blame Cash for everything. Patsy's certainly a shitter. Like
Shit was so Cash.
Well, you guys can start talking about what you are going to do next while I was trying
We've
so
got a boat lined up. We've got
Yeah, and we want to get like a wagon or a cart
an
lined up to
we need, like,
get
an
that thing out.
escape
Yeah.
carriage.
we get that boat, baby.
Maybe even a driver.
Yeah, I'm like, my crop Holmes needs to be driving us out in a hansom, just like in the Reichenbach Falls.
Somebody needs a
Yeah,
driver for
maybe maybe a fancy carriage. I mean, what do we
Carriage
have
and
for
the boat, I believe,
shins?
yeah.
I have 7 shins.
5.
Would they expect like a fancy ass carriage that I might just happen to have a miniature of?
Oh. Maybe.
To tell.
I mean, it's coincidence, really.
Could be.
Yeah, what kind of crowd comes to the... Because the other thing is it has to look kind of inconspicuous.
Yeah. What kind of crowd's gonna be coming to this show, Keith?
I mean, it's the star of...
I feel like it's probably gonna be like normal village people, right? It's like
Yeah,
not like high.
Yeah.
Same
People,
people
but,
that
like-
were throwing vegetables a second ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty mixed because
The group of idiocracy.
normally the theater is pretty empty because people perform at it every night and it's pretty cheap to get in. So it's typical that it's like not very full and just any whoever would be there, right? Average people, maybe some wealthy people might be there as well. It's usually pretty mixed company. It's the only theater in the town, and it's among, you know, a small list of entertainment. So it could be anybody, but it's going to be busy tonight because Astra is one of the, like, she is the star of the theater, and has been gone for a time. People have been just putting on really terrible one-man shows since then, you know.
Open mic night.
Open mic night has been an unfortunate failure.
Jade Colossus, what's the deal with that? Isn't it Jade? Isn't it Colossus? Pick a thing!
All right, here we go, guys. I got it. So, you can administer aid through bandaging and other succor, attempting to heal each patient once per day. This healing restores points to a stat pool of your choice. Decide how many points you want to heal, and then make an intellect action with difficulty equal to that number. For example, if you want to heal someone for 3 points, that's a difficulty 3 task, so your target number is a 9.
Yeah, 9.
Being skilled in healing reduces the difficulty of the task.
Yeah, so it costs someone else. Jeez. We don't have 10 hours, right? Before.
It doesn't cost them, they just have to make a roll
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
if they use effort or whatnot to try and...
Yeah, then it will cost them, yeah.
Should we all just get in a group and try to heal each other? 'Cause
Without-
we'll have
without using
equally
effort?
bad chances, yeah.
What exactly does that look like, I wonder?
It looks a little weird. Definitely be like, what
Let's
are they
be honest
doing?
with you, it's a
Covering
circle jerk.
The eyes of the children.
Yep.
Let's do it!
Don't make me laugh.
Hilarious.
Don't make me laugh while I'm doing this, okay? It's the only way I can handle it.
made Patsy laugh.
Oh, man.
Can't focus if you make me
we're all
laugh.
turning the person to our first aid coming your way, Ryan.
First thing coming your way, Cash.
What do you
All
want?
right.
What do I roll?
I roll for you.
man.
What do you want?
What am I rolling? Oh, what do
I feel like I need some
need
intellect
some
because
might.
I'm
How much
maxed out
do you
on that
want?
right now.
as much as you can give me.
Okay.
Hold on. What were the
Patsy
rules
says
again?
something
You gotta get a
3
9 to get
intellect,
3.
maybe.
Patsy
would be-
says something
is that
sly
right?
about your
Yeah.
intellect and how much you need more intellect.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Jokingly.
No, 3's fine.
Yeah, he could use more intellect.
I mean, I'm a little lacking in the intellect department in terms of points in my pool.
Okay.
So
No,
it's
I know,
fair.
I was-
I'm gonna use that for
Hey!
I didn't use effort, but my basic first aid to Cash.
I got a
Hey,
12.
I'm feeling so relieved right now.
Everyone's just sitting around rubbing each other's shoulders.
Yeah, this is like at the docks too. After we start.
Feeling so much better.
I'm just like, I need to touch Patsy. This is amazing.
Hey!
Oh, sorry.
Keep doing that.
Getting a little fresh. Hey, don't stop.
Lower. Too low.
Did you get me love? I'll give you some.
Wait.
love,
Am I really receiving healing from this?
Yes.
How much am I getting? I'm confused.
How much you want?
You have to.
No, seriously.
Easy now. We just met.
How much you want determines how high I got to roll. I wanted it. I was like a 3 because that'll probably be what I get.
Yeah.
You want a 3? I
I'd
gotta roll
say-
at least a 9.
Does somebody else? need
Oh, I
some
see.
From Orion. You try to imagine Orion administering
I'd say
healing.
2 is enough.
So to Bobert,
Is it a minimum of 3, or do you get to choose even lower?
what does this look
Yeah,
like?
you can do 1, and then you got a 3 on the dice.
Yeah, so the roll is higher than a 6.
Yeah.
But you can only do first this kind of thing once a day.
I'm gonna just ask for 3 and
No,
There's anything.
copy back on proof.
No one saw.
So Patsy enjoys your background, but doesn't heal from it.
Oh no! It's okay. Yeah, I'm in a rough way.
Sorry, Bobert. I just don't have it in me.
No. This is the weird.
You're like trying to cut bandages and accidentally just rip all the way through, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm like only one benefiting from this circle jerk.
Orion got some.
I got some too.
Well, Ryan did get some sweet.
I should share with you guys that
I know you rolled yet.
you could buy a first aid kit.
Oh, how much are those?
First aid kit.
That's Orion's tagline.
Tension.
And that, instead of putting me in the fighter, might
Who never says
Tensions.
Tensions for first aid kit.
I have
which
7.
would
I have
reduce
5.
the difficulty by
I'll go
1.
halvesies.
It would provide
Reduce the
an
difficulty
asset.
by 1.
It provides an asset. to the task, right?
No,
You can kind of get any.
How many
kit
times can
that
you use it?
I'm cool with it just being infinite.
Because otherwise that seems like a ripoff. 10 shins for a one-time use.
No,
just to
I don't get
use
the
it
impression
once?
that it's a one-time use. It's like a
fucked up.
kit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's too much.
I'll toss in 2 chins.
You can get
for
it. You
this.
can get a cipher.
2 chins.
You can get a cipher for like 30.
To be the one that carries it, I will put it down to 5. Now,
I guess if
now
you're
we're
dead-
school kids.
Wait, can I
We should
help
not
use
have
this
more
somehow?
points.
Alright, I'll give you 3.
Okay.
If you're trained in it.
2.
Or
I'm not.
If you're trained in it, if 2 people are like working together and you have equal training, then you get a +1.
So is 2 people now massaging, or are we moved on from that?
Yeah, I mean if you're like bandaging one person's.
No, I'm just
Pulling
providing
away
a
or something.
massage.
It's a mental like,
Okay, yeah.
sort of healing.
Yeah, you're massaging
It's
the
like
feet.
a temple sort of like.
Yes.
Alright, we bought a med kit.
I'm really
Okay.
I'm
You
trained
bought a
in,
first
like,
aid kit.
I
Yeah.
have a masseuse certification.
It's on page 82 for what it's worth.
Oh, someone's.
Oh, Void Effigy says not using the most recent help rules I see. I don't know what that means.
No, Void Effigy, we're behind on things. We don't have Discovery, or I should say I have Discovery, but I haven't read it.
I don't
Yeah,
appreciate
so.
your sass, Void Effigy,
But I do like your name.
Yeah.
and I appreciate your gumption.
But do educate us. How does the new help rules in Discovery? There's a new like revised edition of Numenera that we're not quite using, but I appreciate my sass.
Yeah, I feel like that was directed at you.
And it's mostly because we've already purchased 2 hardcover core rule books, and I was like, I can't purchase 2
Alright.
more.
I'm gonna try to give you 3 points.
Okay.
So what's my with
If
I'll provide an
untrained
asset.
and use your action to
Yes.
help, you provide an asset.
Baller.
Okay.
Sass
So it basically
master.
lowers the
So 6 would be my target.
So
Hey, I'll hit you back.
Void Effigy is a sass master. No. He's
basically
a,
is that a lowering?
Yeah.
Not a +1?
Yeah.
I got
Which
you.
it seems
I
more
got
like the
you.
system. But you're using an action.
Okay. Yes, yeah, you're using your turn to do it.
Hey, that's good too if you have an inability.
So you can have 2 assets in the new rules. I feel like previously you can only have 1 asset in something. I guess, or it just eases it twice. Whatever the case. Yeah, that's
hold
cool.
on to this coin.
I've drank a lot of brandy
Did you
Patsy
need
would say
first
he
aid?
has not had enough.
Patsy hasn't gotten any.
drinks.
Okay.
Patsy?
We've got kits.
Gotcha. And that definitely sounds like an improvement.
It's spotting for Patsy.
I want a temple rub, and I'll take a
Spotted.
lower back massage.
Okay, Joe, take lower back. I'll do the temples.
You got it. This is you.
16. You got it. You got
Alright.
it.
3 points.
Gotcha. Awesome.
I'm glad you all were able to shore up my shortcomings. I just
Thanks-
wasn't into it.
Thanks for that, Void Effigy. That's definitely
Thank you,
helpful.
everyone.
We could implement that. That'd be pretty easy to do.
Thank everyone who tried, but especially thank you to those that succeeded.
Oh,
It
weird.
actually helped.
More like sass it.
Hey yo!
A little sasset.
Whoa, that's one of the jokes they had at open
grand-
mic night.
The Grand Master of Sass. Excellent.
Excellent.
Well, you're in good company. All right, so you guys have purchased a first aid kit. Would an asset, it being eased by 1 step, have made any of the failures succeed?
I only succeeded. I know that
Humble
sounded
brag.
bad.
Mine was a
Yours would've.
mine was a 4.
And it would have brought it up 2, and he was only rolling for
6.
2. So it would have brought it up 3,
That would've
right?
been
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah.
So I would have got 2 more. I'll
I
accept.
don't think it would have
People are just like fawning over here. Who's jealous?
What's that? Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll send
That was cash talk.
you a check. Actually, you invoice us.
Excellent. I have a feeling with as sassy as Void Effigy is that we actually will receive an invoice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to like snail. I want to like post office mail, like
Yeah.
no electronic stuff.
Actually, we'll take it out of your tab for all this free entertainment.
I'm gonna walk down that path and like that's gonna hurt when it it's turned against us.
What up? What up?
It's ready to go.
Just kidding. We really appreciate you.
So much.
They just leave.
Last week it was air horn noises, and all I was making was like semi-truck noises.
Yeah. It's because you didn't have the beatbox over here. The resident soundboard.
Where's the semi?
I feel like we need to move to the
So,
just some new sounds.
Patsy's starting to sweat a bit. It's getting closer to theater time.
Yeah, it's
and
early evening.
Okay, have we got a like carriage or some sort of a wagon situation arranged?
Yeah, do you guys want to roll to see how awesome the carriage is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
absolutely.
raffle it.
Raffle.
Oh, like
I don't know if that
do
would
like
work.
a persuasion
Yeah.
to see like how affluent of the
How well we were able
I think
to
Patsy
do it.
should try to do it.
Yeah, do it.
Obviously,
What am I doing?
We need to
rolling to
hook
see how
up
fancy
a
it is.
carriage, some sort of a way to get our stuff to escape, and a driver that will be there with it.
A really discreet.
Get us one with
Yeah.
spinning rims
So
and like.
what are we looking? Are we talking to someone? I'm sorry. I think I was just blank.
This is kind of just an amorphous storytelling thing that you're like, how good is the driver that you managed to get?
Oh.
If you roll high, then he's really good, and all the things that you want.
And if you don't do that,
I believe in you.
Oh yeah, I believe.
At least
you too.
believe in me that believes in you.
Nat 20.
Patsy!
Bless the gravity well.
gravity well, bless you.
This evening, the gravity well has definitely shown.
I see some really fancy car passing by, right, or something like that.
All right,
Like-
so
Yeah, you just knock on
Well-
the window and are like, "I'm hiring you tonight."
Yeah, that seems more like it.
I think
You're like, listen,
I'm
you want
buying this
Patsy
car for
points
the
tonight?
evening.
with a 20, I'll say 4 adjectives. This is not really a thing in any mechanic, but like discreet,
Yeah.
fancy, fast. This is like powered by the apocalypse.
Yeah.
right here, right? What tags do you want?
Okay, so it's definitely quick. As in
And
like acceleration, like it's fast.
Yeah, discreet.
Discreet.
glowing.
As in like it's like but it's cool and slick.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
it's like
cool.
it just. But let's see. Also,
This is the last one, so.
Come on, distill the previous 2 down to 1.
it's got
Worth.
it's
Wish
got
for more wishes.
it's got a mini bar inside.
Limousine carriage! This is way better than the pedal tavern I was expecting we were gonna.
Okay,
That's rolls of
yeah, well, I'm
5 and
definitely
lower.
gonna have the carriage for this because we
We were
need
all
it.
gonna have to pedal to like move it along.
When it's slick, fast, minibar, and discreet, did you put discreet in
Yes,
there, Patsy?
discreet.
No.
Yes,
No, you
I did.
No, you specifically did not. I wanted to be discreet.
Not discreet. It's like it's like
It's
Snazzy
ostentatious.
looking driver.
hydraulics on. Just like
I want the driver to have a
What if it's
little
pulled by
pencil
like
mustache.
horse-drawn, like levitating?
never says
like,
anything?
it's, yeah, it's gotta be
horses.
it's gotta be super
Gestures.
weird because it's Numenera. They probably have like
Oh,
tentacles coming out of their
Lord.
eyes or something.
Is this where the minibar is?
There it is, waiting outside.
Fuck yeah.
For
It's
our
the
escape.
it's the finest. What's the liquor? The Moonstone liquor.
Yeah.
The one-
I don't think that we ever named it, but so the Midnight Stone that you guys have,
Midnight
right?
Sun, of course. I'm calling it Moonstone.
A popular drink in this town is like kind of like Goldschlagers, except instead of having gold floating around in the heart of
It's
liquor,
got
it's Midnight Stones. Yeah, because it's actually a drug that many people ingest by sprinkling into their eyes.
Weird.
We sprinkle that shit.
If you want to, you can switch to that screen. It's got
It makes their their tears twinkle.
our fucking cool mini bar included carriage in it.
Yes, and the glorious part about this carriage is actually that the horses are all they're the drivers,
Yes.
and they are a single organism that all happen to resemble horses, but yeah.
Hive
There
intelligence.
actually is a wagon. The sound of the wagon pulling up.
Hello, Wanderer.
Through sign language.
Wait, is the horses speaking?
Will you teach me?
The horses are speaking. Yes.
Just knows alphabet.
Yes, they are speaking, and they all speak slightly off from one another, right? So it's like 4 voices kind of at once. Hello. No, they're cooler than that. They're pretty slick. So they're like, yes, only the finest vehicle for those who seek it. Welcome aboard.
How creepy. I don't like that.
I hear tell that humans such as you enjoy, and the door is open, beverages. And I assure you that I will say nothing of our journey because I am a discreet creature and want only proper payment.
This is highly specific to our needs.
He did roll that 20.
Yeah. I want to be like hype man over. Yeah! You want to earn some Patsy
All right, so are we keeping the thing in the theater for now, or are we loading it up in the carriage ahead of time?
I say load it up.
Yeah, I kind of
We
feel
load it
like
up.
that's smart too, because unless we lose the carriage, you know.
Yeah, well, we loaded up, but maybe someone should
We're-
kind of be
yeah.
watching it.
We're not going
while
to
I'm
lose
at,
this
like,
carriage.
Yeah.
Well, they have to see Patsy, and do they have to see that Patsy's there?
Yes, I'm going to
And
intercept them and lead
Patsy
them to where
can't
we need them to
leave
go.
with us.
Okay.
What would Joe be able to watch it? Or?
Yes.
Can someone stay with Patsy?
Oh.
I mean, out of character, like if we're gonna break the party for a game and we're gonna have a couple people going down the river to do that thing, it would be cool if someone were to stay with Patsy so that they could be doing something.
I will say, like, we're going to miss a session at some point, so that might time nicely.
Oh yeah, next week.
Next week?
I think we'll be able to make next week, but the 21st we won't be able to make.
Okay, well,
I feel like it'd be interesting if you guys were not the ones who's
Yeah, we
staying
separate.
together.
Yeah.
Because
Have to.
I feel like
think
there
so, yeah.
needs to be like you guys both need a chance to bond with like other characters.
Yeah, totally. I'm with it.
So that's me speaking, saying
Yeah.
I think that you all need to
Well,
be
and Cash is gonna go down the river, and I'm gonna go down.
Yeah.
the
I mean,
river.
I'm going down in the van.
I think
Down
you
the
guys
river.
should take Joe with you. Well, maybe I need to skip town. I don't know. I would stay with you, Patsy.
Are you sure?
You would follow Patsy to the ends of the
Yeah, okay, are we jumping into character?
Because by the end of this night, it's not going to be pretty, Bobert.
Patsy. The world inside's a lot uglier than the world outside.
a recap to those watching at home.
At least it hasn't.
So we've had some new people pop in. Patsy spoke with a member of the Cabal of Whispers who is setting a trap for Orion at the Ballarat Theater. And the group is informed upon it. Patsy has secretly informed them, even though he was like giving the impression that he was working together with them. And so they're plotting a plan to escape in a hurry from the city of Ballarat with their giant midnight stone that they have secured from within the Jade Colossus. That's the update. Thanks for tuning in.
But we have to face them first.
Also, we got a boat.
And they got a boat.
We got a boat.
And a carriage that's drawn by 4 mentally linked horses that are discreet.
with tentacles coming out of their eyes.
Yes.
I did say that because there's a mini bar.
Yes, and a minibar. And the minibar is important.
It's the most important detail.
Yeah. Certainly.
It's true moonshine.
Midnight shine. Night shine.
I'll
All right.
follow you too and be like, Sads, you're used to having a glaive around.
All right, Bobber, but if things get bad,
They can't get much worse.
I guess you're right. Let's do this then. So here's the deal. Is everyone around at this point?
Yeah, huddle up.
Yeah, are we here?
Where are you guys at?
We.
I think we're like
just-
maybe at the theater
Yeah.
now. We've got the
We've got
wagon.
the carriage, like we're ready
We've got
to
the
make a
boat
plan.
lined up.
All right, people are filtering into the theater.
We don't have much time. Here's the deal. I'm gonna meet the Jade. I'm gonna meet the Cabalist of Hunger outside. I'm gonna lead them discreetly into this room, suggesting that you are all here, which is the truth. And at that time, we're gonna spring him, and whoever he brings with. Whatever you do to prepare, that's up to you. But we won't have much time, and we've got to be quiet about it.
Where do you want us?
They have to see Orion. They have to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want anyone with the Cabalist incapacitated, but not dead. So they believe it.
I just put something together. The Kabbalists are all representative of the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, something like that.
I was like,
It's more like desires and drives and greed and
well,
stuff.
I was like, there was a hunger, and then I was
Hunger
like,
and
what's the other
thirst
one? It was like
and desire,
Well, I
yeah.
guess thirst. I forgot about.
I just made those up. They didn't have any naming
Well, 2 of them
convention,
seem
yeah.
to make sense. Because I was like, is there like a pride one somewhere?
Probably.
Is that one of ours? All right, I'm done.
How are we gonna know that they're with the Cabal?
I'm gonna walk them through this door.
Okay.
They trust me.
So you
wait,
won't be able to join the fight.
I'll join the fight in my own way. You don't worry about that.
Want this?
Knock a bookshelf.
Or if we
sorry.
silence them all, then they'll never
so
know that
competent.
Patsy was a part of it in the first place.
Sorry, can you repeat?
If we silence them all, then they won't know that Patsy fought with us in the first place.
Patsy
As in,
wanted
we need
them-
to kill them all.
Patsy wanted them alive, Orion. I'm seeing cross purposes here.
I don't need them all alive. I need at least some of them alive. I don't know who he's bringing.
Fine.
There have to be witnesses.
Sort it out, you two. Sort it out.
Hug it
Ryan's
out.
not
I want you to
happy
hug it
about
out, guys.
Talk, share, understand,
people
respect,
alive.
and trust.
I can't be untrusted after this.
Untrusted.
All right. So how does this plan go down? People are filtering in. Where are people placed?
Yeah, so I need it to be believable. So I think I would probably be somewhere close to an exit. In any case, if I didn't know someone were coming for me, which I don't here, right? Hypothetically.
You knocked the bird off!
That is minus
Keith
a
was being
billion.
reckless with the camera.
That is minus a billion.
Where'd that bird go?
Before I joined Material Components, I was still watching for like months, just coming to their games, and one night I knocked the bird off, and I thought that they were going to kill me.
I just made a really big deal.
Everyone made a really big deal. I was like, oh no!
Oh, I think someone's gonna carve me up at least once a session. I'm sorry. I'm trying to help.
Hazing. It's just hazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just game hazing.
Oh no, I take it straight.
I do take the explosive poison.
Okay.
I do take the explosive.
Yeah.
And I ask,
Cash.
Cash.
Music is starting. This is like the pre-show.
For some of your
music.
for some of your space
A
crackers.
flautist is on stage.
Oh, hang on.
They're actually playing a really weird instrument that is like
Locke took them all.
Numenera device, right? That has like a lot of extra cables, and there's for some reason like a big box on the ground. Yeah, that it's connected to.
The electric.
It's like
Yes.
a theremin where they're like using their hand to
Yeah.
create the pitch.
And not only is it creating like kind of weird music, but it's also like doing cascade light that's like going in rhythm with the.
Bobert's here for the electronic then.
Yeah,
May it
it's techno
help you
basically is what I'm getting at.
on your
it's
journey
it's a rave.
and keep you safe For when
Cash,
he returns.
Cash gives me a bag of space crackers that he had from earlier. And I attach the explosive poison onto one of them in the bag.
Yes!
All right, you guys are all in the
Yeah.
place where you're planning on meeting people.
I'm gonna stand at the door so that I can see Patsy go in and get a count on who all I think is in the how many
Like
are in
inside
the
or outside of the
inside.
building?
Like I'm
Okay.
watching the show casually from the. Yeah.
You're up here.
Yeah.
And then we're hiding in the room where Patsy is going to lead them. Is that
I
what's
guess we're hanging
happening?
out. We're gonna jump him or something. Is that how that?
In
that's
the
gonna work?
theater, though, right?
Yeah, in the theater, and I think it's best if you tell them that like other people from the party have scrammed,
Yeah.
right? Or that you
They were
like
just
you
there
suggested
for the Colossus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Absolutely.
yeah, if you guys have some simple thing over the top, then you can pull it off in the moment and fight.
So
and they
we're
won't
going to
expect
fight
you.
them like in the audience?
Yeah. We're making
yeah.
a scene.
Oh, yeah.
We're making a
Listen.
scene.
Well,
This is how we do things. We should have the high ground. That's my suggestion. This is
All right.
how we do
Otherwise,
things.
that way it's
Too
over.
late.
It's over, Anakin!
Do you need some
So-
minis?
We're gonna do a break, and then we can set up during the break. But to leave all those on a cliffhanger of what's going on, Patsy's out waiting for the figure that he's expecting. Inside, there's music being played. The place is pretty packed. Aster is occasionally like peeking out from her room and looking nervously at the crowd. And you're Orion. You're sitting in the crowd. You're kind of scanning the crowd, and suddenly, your heart, a chill sinks over your heart as you see a face that you recognize. Your heart leaps
Again?
with joy as you see Prisma. She's helping some aged nobleman to his seat, and she's wearing the garb of a servant of some kind.
You were well connected, and I'm thoroughly impressed.
And for those watching at home, Prisma is Orion's girlfriend, who is his goal,
lover, yeah.
his love in life. And describe her to us.
So I don't know. I don't know anything about any of these places, but she's from the beyond. I imagine her as being pretty exotic. She has like probably a really dark skin, but like really striking bright eyes, bright green eyes or something like that, and just fell in love. And what she was like flirting with me at a distance at first, and then at some point we began like stealing away when we could and having moments beneath the Cabal of Whispers. Eventually tried to buy her love, and then she was sold sort of from under my feet, to which I threatened the life of the head of that order and stole a treasure map from him to buy her freedom in the future. She's here now.
And she's here. Find out what happens after the break, y'all! Welcome back, y'all.
Patsy's never nervous.
Yo.
Woo, woo, woo. An update of the situation. We are in the midst of the Ballarad Theater, fully knowing that we are about to be in a trap. Sprung by the Cabal of Whispers, a power-hungry secret society organization that is seeking out Orion of the Gallows because he has betrayed their trust and run away and stolen treasures from them in order to rescue his girlfriend, who happens to be at the theater right now.
It's awful. I forgot about that.
Patsy is standing outside, right, waiting for
Puffing away.
puffing away his cigar.
But it's underneath my mask, obviously.
The way
Ah,
you
you're
keep
wearing the
doing that, I
mask.
keep thinking it's like a respirator.
Yeah,
that,
it's
like,
a big cigar. It's just really big.
It's like,
Yeah, so I've got my mask on. I'm standing outside leaning against the opposite, the tavern across the street's door.
all right. So, Josh, you've seen your lady.
Yeah.
What was her name again? I'm sorry.
Prisma.
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 But she has not seen you.
Yeah, and what does she seem like she's doing right now? She's acting in a servant's sort of role.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's working for this theater? Or,
No,
or-
for just a noble who's going to the theater. Yeah.
Okay.
Gee, I hope she like recognizes you.
Man, I don't know.
When was the last time you saw her? I'm speaking as
It's probably been like, I don't know, 3 months or I don't know, 6 months or something like that. Like, I don't think it's been a crazy amount of time, but
okay. I didn't know if it'd be like, I've been trying to get back to her for years.
I don't think it's been that long.
Flawless Orion.
Yeah.
I've been channeling it.
The Batman voice. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna act to get her attention yet. But I have to make sure that she stays safe. I'm just keeping an eye on her for now.
Okay.
She gonna die!
Oh shit.
Not jinx this.
Oh man, there could be like. I'm thinking of things I'm not gonna say.
Consequences.
All right.
But I think Orion is like holding himself back from doing it, you know?
Oh, he's gotta be dying on the inside.
And he's not quite as passionate as Bobert, but
Much like Prisma will be. No. I want horrible things to happen to everyone,
Everyone should die.
including me.
All right. Aster takes the stage and begins playing a sad, sonorous song about the torturous experience
Crying, crying,
that
crying,
was
crying.
her life within the Jade Colossus and how she was. There's a lot of metaphor. It's maybe, not totally clear to the audience what she's even talking about, but you guys know that she's singing about how she was the puppet master who was herself a puppet. Thanks to Sirenscape for providing this excellent music. Yeah. So that's happening, and indeed, after a time outside, a figure approaches wearing the mask and is accompanied by a pack of strange dog creatures.
A new bite.
Which, I wish I had time to pull the picture up onto the overlay, but y'all will just have to
we can just show
picture.
him on the camera if we gotta.
These are broken hounds. They resemble gaunt dogs, but their heads appear to be more like bird skulls
Oh, great.
than
Excellent.
I did not like that.
Broken hounds.
So y'all can picture that, but alternatively, I can try really hard to get this close-up cam happening.
Action cam. Big
goodness! Wow, that looks great.
Maybe a description would be better.
So yes, as I said, hounds, but with the skull of a bird instead of a dog's
A
head.
skull.
Yeah,
It's like a bear skull, beak.
bone. Not like not like a covered head.
Yes, and so this figure
Well, that's
wearing the
grotesque.
mask approaches and has a pack of these things yelping.
Well, those
strangely.
animals certainly like bone-headed.
Since I know that I'm going to be using it in a moment, I'm going to go ahead and charge up the yolk so that it will be dealing, just real casually, just kind of like hanging out with it.
Oh, no one notices that. Like, oh yeah, I'm just practicing. I'm fine.
No, I just like hand on the hip. Tapping the fingers.
Cash uses the data sphere to look at and see what a yolk is again. That's not right.
So this figure approaches, and you're wearing your mask too.
Yeah. So
What's Patsy
Yolk.
at?
He does
They're
the
also straight. Oh, gotcha.
he does the greeting.
not right.
He's like, the moon how it rises in the east.
Oh god, I forgot it.
I forgot what I said. The wind, how it blows east till tomorrow or something.
We should come up with a really good secret coded message
yeah.
at some point, but
That's more like
It's like a Qatar.
nods and says, "I assume Orion is here."
And I assume you brought the noisiest beasts you could to this theater.
I'm here in case he might escape.
Who else is here?
Cash doesn't.
There are ones among us.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't make any like notation of that this is strange to me.
These things are yelping at one another and like do this weird clacking of their beaks, and then they start like snapping at one another, and then he does this gesture and they like
What's the signal for your men to move?
the signal.
Did you see that episode of King of the Hill? Do you know what I was referencing?
It's
Yeah.
the ambiguous three-fingered salute.
Mm-hmm.
Says, my men, they know what to do.
Well, I can tell you right now, they're gonna need all the backup they can get. He's not going down easy.
But I feel we might strike him true to his heart.
In what way? Won't go down easy.
In a way that I shouldn't hear as I'm sitting here at the table.
What guys? Well, we'll have to wait and see.
I can leave if you want me to. If you feel like there's information that he would share.
No,
Okay.
I don't think he would. He's keeping him at arm's length as well.
Yeah.
So
Patsy thinks real hard about trying to convince this information out of him, but Patsy's also pretty nervous about this and wants it to go smoothly.
Becky's kind of drunk too.
Also, yes.
Patsy's also had.
He's a little tipsy.
He's had a few cigars.
It's plenty, though. Then shall we leave your mongrels outside and head into the theater? Watch the events?
I think I'll wait here. I've seen Aster
the base
perform
of it.
before.
It's like the
Yes, but
rubberized base with the battery.
I've heard she's
This is the part where it's-
changed since she's been back from the Jade Colossus. I'm making a persuasion roll.
All right.
You got the magic touch,
So I'm
man.
trained,
Okay.
and I'm using effort. I got an 8.
An 8. I'm not positive that will succeed.
So I lowered it by 2,
Okay.
because I used effort and I'm trained.
Yep, that succeeds.
You certainly can't miss this first performance.
Well, my dogs shall stay put at the door. They have a trained scent.
I trust you would bring no minor beast to this battle. As I nod to the theater. Let's go.
He comes in behind you. He's also wearing like a very fancy silken suit. Yeah.
Is it diaphanous?
No, it's not.
Word of the day.
Ding.
Thirst.
So he goes inside with you.
All right, so they both move inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say we
Door
probably we enter up here, or where do you enter?
Yeah, up there. I was.
This is the main entrance.
So I lead him to this seat down
Okay,
here.
so I only see one person coming with Patsy.
I just now got that was
And the dogs
entrance.
are out
Both,
outside of
they're
the
both
door.
wearing masks. And it's not entirely out of the norm for people to be wearing masks
Yeah.
in this world. There's a lot of people who have had mutations and whatnot that have to wear breath masks in order to breathe. There's a lot of visitants and whatnot that are like just can't breathe air, you know. So it's a pretty normal thing. Nobody really thinks twice about people walking around with masks on.
I'm a little nervous though because I expected there to be more than one person. So that kind of has got me thinking maybe people came in unnoticed and that I won't be able to distinguish who they are until shit's going down. I can't think
Well, I
of
see
any.
you come in with this person.
You're too nervous.
As you guys are moving, you're moving down the aisle,
Depends on
and Prisma glances over, watches you guys pass, and her eyes drift across the crowd and makes contact with Orion's. And she has a startled look and glances at the at the nobleman who she serves.
This is so painful to watch.
We need to get to the end of this episode. I can't handle it.
I'm over in the corner just watching like with popcorn.
I love this
Cheerful music.
Cheerful music takes the stage. There's much singing
Takes me back.
and some dancing.
Back to a time.
So I feel like Orion is definitely on the edge of his seat, and they have settled somewhat near to where Prisma is.
Oh, Archie, you guys are sitting down, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
led him
we're all sitting down.
to the as close to over here as possible. Kind of opposite Orion.
All right.
I'm just looking for that guy to make any sort of a hostile, weird move toward Prisma, and if he does, then I'm jumping up and flying across the aisle at him.
Okay.
Are people still coming in kind of regularly?
It's pretty full, so people are, and also there's some freaky dog things by the door, so people are.
Actually getting closer to the door, like not totally in front of it, but enough that if someone was coming in or out, they would be like, "Oh, excuse me," an attentive person blocking the door.
Everybody but, well, let's see, Bobert and Jophiel and Cash. Give me like perception.
Everybody
what
but
is-
those people, or
what is that
everybody?
called?
Intellect, and if
Okay.
you're trained in perception
making
or
that?
awareness.
Not you.
Oh, everyone.
Not
Those people.
Kabbalists.
Yeah.
Those who are not preoccupied with something else, basically.
19!
Yes.
Nice,
A
Cash.
3.
You see nothing.
There's some weird thing over there.
You're fixated on
What's
it.
with that brick? It's so suspicious.
So you're Cash, you're scanning the crowd, not necessarily with the scan ability, but you're looking over the crowd and sensing the spark of some energy, of some cipher energy in there, and glancing around, and you're seeing an audience member who's seated right behind Orion, leaning forward with what looks like a pen
Ryan has the deactivate.
in his hand. And you got an action. You got a turn.
Okay, so I don't have anything in particular that's going to help with this.
Pew pew.
Wait, flex skill. Beginning of each day, choose one task other than attack and defense to concentrate. I didn't do that yet.
Next time.
Okay,
Well,
whatever.
you could decide it now. What would be your flex skill? It's like, persuasion or perception or sneaking or climbing or something like that you're like, this is the skill I need today.
I mean, you could always
Well,
shout
how
out
far- how far am I?
at the worst case. You could shout something.
I could.
Give me a chance.
I was trying to think of something less, everybody!
Yeah,
Let's
totally.
blow our cover! You're gonna get shot up with some horrible thing!
Totally.
I want to be trained in I don't know, throwing darts or something. I want to just throw something to knock the syringe out of this shadowy figure's hand. So that's a speed check though, right?
Yeah. Speed
All right.
attack.
So worst comes to worst, I have changeable, so I can always try a different task. If that's
Use effort.
Well,
Yeah, use effort.
absolutely. I'm gonna use effort.
Do you have, can you do 2 effort yet, or pick that thing? Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. No, 1 effort. Yeah, I can only use 1.
You'll spend 4 of these eventually to be able to add something to that or do something.
Well, then you only use a single effort, but I'm gonna do some speed and then hope for the best here.
Hope for good. Gravity well, don't fail us now.
Oh, I missed it completely.
It is an 8.
That's not gonna be enough, is it?
Is it a light weapon?
Yeah, that would ease it by 1, and you've used effort.
I don't know. I just
By 2.
I guess I have a small dagger.
Yeah, that would be a light.
I just put 2 weapons, 1 light, 1 medium. So I just tossed a dart. If that's not good enough, I'll change my tactics.
It is just short.
Just short.
Just short. Yeah.
Well, fuck me. Failed task and roll dice in second attempt, and I have to change my tactics. That means, though, I have to pick from a different. I don't know. I'm assuming.
Yeah, maybe you throw it really hard. You use your might instead.
I'll use my might then. Let's hope to hit the gravity wall this time. Oh my god, that's close enough.
17.
So
Excellent.
instead of throwing it fast, I threw it really hard. And knock it out of his hand.
And this figure is raised this pen up in the air, and then a knife sinks into his arm, and he goes, "Ah!" And suddenly the instrument that's being played screeches, right? Yeah, and everyone in the crowd gasps, and people look back and see this knife in this guy's hand, and people just start screaming, and the whole place erupts in chaos. And we'll have to find out next week what happened. You're welcome. It is time for us to wrap, so we have to. We'll start at this point next week and find out what happens.
Not that kind of wrapping.
But thanks all for watching.
Yes.
It has been a joy. This has been our first stream as official affiliates and trying out some new stuff. So thank you all for participating in the treasure raffles and
I feel so
for
affiliated.
being awesome.
Yes.
Stay tuned as we will raid some other channel that is doing excellent stuff that we love and give them a scope out. But stay tuned next week, same time.
It's gonna be epic next week.
We'll find out what's going down and what we're gonna do with this
big
giant
fight.
slab and more mysteries of the Cabal and pasts and whatnot. And I'll stop talking. Love you guys.